All right, we'll get some viewers in here real quick. But how are you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing good, man. Chilling.
Awesome. Awesome.
Chilling, ready to
Love.
chat movies.
Same here, right? Chatting movies, nostalgia, collecting. I love your background. It's amazing. So
yeah, this is where I film all my videos. So I thought I'd kind of do it where I film my stuff in front of all my prized possessions.
I love it. I love it. Now, I don't know if there's a way you can pop up the comments so you can see them too.
Oh yeah, I'll hit this little chat thing here.
There you go. And it looks like we got 5 people in here. Guys, say hello. Say hello. Who's ever in here? So I guess we'll can you hear me? I think let's see. What's up, Scatterbrain? Okay. Hold on real quick. Let's see. This is it? Let's try this one more time. Be right with you guys. How do I? Okay. Justin, if you can hear me, try to invite yourself again and see what happens. Invite guest. Let's see. We'll be right with you guys. Try to invite him one more time. Did we lose him? Hold on, guys. Be right with you. I don't want to leave the chat. See if he pops back on, guys. Invite guest. Edit name. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. I gotta get Justin back up on here. How are y'all doing tonight? All right, Art. No problem. No problem. We'll see you in a little bit. I gotta get Justin back on here. Thank you, Scatterbrain. There we go. Here he is. Add to stream.
Oh, can you see me?
Can you hear me? I can. Okay.
That was totally my fault, and I apologize.
You're okay.
I tried to hit the chat, and I'm not going to hit that again. I hit the chat, and somehow I left the whole thing, and it was a bad deal.
You're okay. I've done that. I did that once where I tried to like pull up a comment, and I left my own live show, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, well, it says chat, so I thought it was just going to pull it up in like a side-scrolling thing, and it put so I'm not great with technology, so. What a great first impression for everybody watching and meeting me for the first time. I leave the chat on.
Stop. You're an awesome guy. If anybody doesn't know, well, if anybody knows who you are, you're an awesome person. So I'm happy to have you on.
Thank you.
And if you don't know who Justin, aka Movie Watch Daily, is, please go subscribe to him. I think I have your YouTube channel already down in the description.
Thanks.
But go subscribe to him. You're welcome. Subscribe to him. Watch his videos, comment, like. I mean, you got some amazing stuff on your channel. Amazing stuff.
That. Coming from you, that means a lot. You've been in the game for it's a lot longer than me, man.
All right, I've been. It doesn't seem like it. I think it's going to be 13 years in December. So
so you were like ground floor YouTube then, like.
Yeah, we were. there was already a community on YouTube, like 2007. And I remember, though, I was like, I really want to make videos. I didn't have the right camera at the time. And then I think December of 08 is when I finally got like a small camera. And
Wow,
I made a minute and 30-second video. I know. It's crazy.
It was like you and Cool Duder and Wet
Cool
Movie and those guys.
Wet Movie. Yeah. Smaller community than what it is now. And it's just so amazing how it's evolved so much. And I love it. Absolutely love it. So I've met some amazing friendships from YouTube. So
that's incredible, man.
It's awesome.
Well, thanks for the nice introduction. I appreciate that. I've only been at it for about a year. So
I know. Yeah. Yeah, how long? Well, let's get it. Talk about your channel. How long have you? You said about a year.
It's been just about a year. I think I started in, I don't know the exact date, but I think when I look at my earliest videos, it says 1 year ago that they were posted. So around August, June, July is when I started. I didn't know what. Not that I know what I'm doing right now, but I really didn't know what I was doing when I first started. I was mainly just doing collection videos and stuff like that, just filming on my phone. And then it evolved to me doing more reviews and things like that. I think when I first started, I wanted to do a lot of movie reviews. Then I realized, I remember the first time I got on camera, I like froze up and I couldn't even speak. So I did videos that were easy to kind of just turn the camera on and here's this movie I just picked up. And that's what it was. And then it kind of evolved from there. But I love collecting. I love horror movies and physical media and toys and all of that nerdy shit that we all love.
We all love it. We all love it. We all love it. Hey, I think your first video was probably better than mine because mine was, what's going on, by the way? I see Adam Jeffrey in here. I see Dale Stark. How are you, Scatterbrain? But my video was like a minute and 30 seconds long, and you can barely hear my voice. And I go back and I look at that. I'm like, was that me? Like,
what kind of camera did you even use back then?
I had
a little flip camera or something.
I think it was a flip camera, or it was like one of these small. I can't remember what the camera was, but it was a small camera where you normally just took pictures with. Yeah. So I mean, and back then it was like if you rated something, it was like, you know, thank you, Dale. I appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Scatterbrain says, love that Hellraiser shirt. So
I got to find out where I got this. Thank you.
But yeah, it was like, I think I had a flip phone. I think it was a flip phone. Like, and my voice is so low, and then I wasn't even on camera. Like, it was like I recorded, I think like 3 movies I got for Christmas or something like that. So
I was just like holding the camera over him and doing like voiceover or something.
Not even voiceover. It was my voice, but I was like, what is this?
I think the second video I posted was actually a t-shirt collection, which has grown to an embarrassing amount since then, but I was just holding up my shirts, and then I had a friend edit it because I didn't even know how to edit it. It's pretty funny.
It's okay.
Now I'm pretty into the editing thing, but
hey, you're doing an amazing job, so keep it up. So keep it up. And like I said, I think before we even started this, your collection, your background is so awesome. You got everything that represents you. So
right. I try to, like I always say at the end of all my videos, stay weird and be yourself. That's my whole,
I love that.
That's my whole motto, man. Whatever you're into, like, I just try to tell people, like, and being on YouTube helped me do this, but just to not care about any weird, nerdy thing that you like. I guarantee you there's a million other people that are into the same thing that only you like. And I realized it a lot once I started putting myself out there that, hey, there's a whole community of weirdos like us.
There is. And, you know, but also it's like when people, you know, because we started watching YouTube videos, there might be somebody who comes across YouTube one day, starts watching videos, and they might see your first video or your channel and go, hey, like, it's awesome. He has the same taste that I do. So yeah, I think it's cool. I love YouTube. Absolutely love it.
Well, that's how I got started. I had always collected like DVDs and, you know, weird stuff, but I didn't realize the community until I saw, you know, videos by like, you know, Cool Duder and the Flick Pick and people talking about their movies. And I was like, hey, I think I could do that.
Yeah. Well, you're doing an awesome job, and like I told you before, I think one of your first videos I saw was a t-shirt haul, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need these in my life, and like you, now it just doesn't stop. Like every time I see a t-shirt, I'm like, I need that.
One of the main things that everybody comments under all of my videos is, where did you get that shirt? I need to start off my videos like shirt of the day thing or something, and just do shirt of the day, put the company. Yeah, I get a sponsor. If I could get a free shirt every now and again, that'd be amazing.
That would be awesome. I spend too much
damn money on shirts.
Oh, I do now, and I thank you for that, because
you're welcome.
That's how I started buying them. I'm like, he has some awesome t-shirts. I didn't know what Cavity Colors was until I came across your video, and I'm like, let me look them up. Yeah. And Gutter Garbs, another company. I was like, who's Gutter Garbs?
They're one of my favorites. They put out some amazing designs, because they do Cavity Colors and Fright Rags will do a lot of the bigger titles, but like Gutter Garbs and Terror Threads will do like Return of the Living Dead 3 even, but they even did things like Night of the Demons 2 and things like that.
Love it. When Night of the Demons came out, I was like, do I want the first one or the second one? I bought both of them.
Yeah, you got
it. Terrible. I was like, I gotta get both of them. So, but yeah, Scatterbrain says, yes, Cool Duder's basement when he lived back in Maryland and that DVD collection. Yep, I remember that.
His old videos when he had like the mushroom haircut and he sat at that desk. And
yeah, that's how I came across the stuff.
Isn't that so wild?
It's wild. And now you look at his stuff and it's totally different. It's like, wow, like it's amazing.
I love watching those older collection videos because, you know, obviously the editions are outdated, but when you see like somebody like Cinema Sickness, I don't know if you've seen his channel, they show these super old editions that were like the most amazing editions of all time, but it was like just an old DVD release, and to see where it's come, and we're like in the golden age of physical media more than ever right now. It's crazy.
I know. Well, and to think 07, 06, Anchor Bay was still around. Like we had Anchor Bay, and Anchor Bay is not even with us anymore. Stuff. I know. Before Scream Factory, even before, I think Blu-ray, like I don't even think Blu-ray was till 07 or 08. So we were still in the DVD.
Back when Best Buy had like an entire section of the store.
Rows of movies.
I think the first like special edition kind of really cool thing, like the first cool edition of a movie that I ever remembered, I found at Best Buy, and it was the Reanimator set that had the little highlighter pen. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
And I remember seeing that at Best Buy, and now you see it on eBay and they want to charge a bunch of money for it.
I know. Back when Best Buy had Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2 on DVD for $6.98, and I still have it. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
I still have it. So Scatterbrain, if you don't mind, Scatterbrain wants to know where you're from.
Kansas City.
All right. There you go.
I live in Kansas City, man. Lived here my whole life.
See, yeah, and I've lived off and on here my whole life, so close to good old Louisville, Kentucky. But,
so I'm Midwest. We're in the Midwest, kind of South region.
All right, buddy. So we talked about your channel. I love a series that you're starting to do right now, and I believe it's called It Came From 94. Yeah. Is that a series? You did what was Brain Scan was your first one. I'm like, awesome.
Brain Scan was the first one. Well, that series kind of came to mind after watching the Fear Street 94 series, and I have kind of a big obsession with a lot of 90s stuff. A lot of my favorite things I find come from the early to mid 90s. So what I want to do with that series is expand it and do like It Came From 91, It Came From 92, and go year by year. And when I looked up the movies, how that came about is I looked up horror movies from 94, and I saw a bunch of really good stuff popping up. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to start here. Like Brain Scan came out of here. And some fantasy movies like Age Master. A bunch of movies popped up. So I'm going to be covering a bunch of fun stuff and I want to do And It Came From for a bunch of different years. So I'm starting with 94.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You mentioned Page Master. That was one of my favorites growing up. Absolutely.
Are you a Brain Scan fan?
I'm a Brain Scan fan. I love Brain Scan. And I watched your video and I was like, this is amazing. Because, I mean, I remember when I bought the DVD at Brain Scan and I really had not heard anybody talk about it until YouTube. Like,
right.
I was like, this is kind of an underrated gem of a movie.
It is. It really is one of those movies that's so good. But there's a little, like it goes with a lot of movies, there's a pocket of people that love it. I'm a big Eddie Furlong fan too. So. Me
too. Oh, speaking of which, in just a little bit, we're going to talk about Eddie Furlong in another movie, which I know you're a fan of. So
I think I know what you're going to talk about. So I'm
okay. All right, guys.
I could be wrong, but I think I know what you're going to talk about.
I think you know what I'm going to talk about. So I think, and I have to mention Pete real quick because Pete is a part of your channel, and Pete's awesome. He was just hanging around here. If he squirrels around the room, I'll grab him and put him on the screen here in a bit. But he's your awesome. I call him your awesome co-host because he's kind of like your co-host in some ways. In my early videos, like my first couple months, I used to do a ton of like skits with Pete, and I need to start bringing those back. Yeah. Oh, awesome. But yeah, he's that's my co-host, man. Pete's awesome. Just let him know I said he's awesome. So I'll tell him you said what's up. All right. Scatterbrain. And by the way, if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask some questions. But Scatterbrain asks, and I'll pull this up. Favorite Furlong performance. What's your favorite? That's a tough one. It would probably, there's a couple. I don't want to spoil what you're going to talk about in a minute. Okay. But it's probably that one. But when it comes down to overall, it's probably T2. We're talking just horror. It's probably one of a couple other movies. But T2, man, is like awesome. Yeah. The breakout performance. But my favorite horror performance from Eddie Furlong is one that I think we're going to talk about in a few minutes. We're going to talk about Eddie Furlong's the man. He's been through some shit, but he did some cool stuff in the 90s. Oh yeah. I mean, and I'm still finding movies with him, so it's like pretty awesome. Dale said I started YouTube with a webcam. Well, I started YouTube videos. First of all, my YouTube videos back in the day, I always say like my hair always changed because at one point I had short hair. One time I had long locks. Curly blonde highlights. I had a webcam where my voice was out of sync, so I was kind of known at the time as, Justin with his voice not matching up. So out of sync audio. Yeah, out of sync audio. That was me for a while. I dug into some of your videos a couple of days ago, just kind of trying to just look at your older stuff because I knew you had been on YouTube for so long. Yeah. And yeah, you went through a lot of different looks. You have guys that make tribute videos. Have you seen some of your tribute videos? I have. Are you aware you have those out there? I do, and I'm so thankful for them. So I do come across some I've never seen. Yeah. Well, like I said, it's just a wonderful community of people. So, and you build friendships. That's the best thing about it. So I can't imagine being able to look back and see like 10 years of my life just archived online. That's got to be crazy. It's like a time capsule. It is. It really is. And I'll even go back and look at some videos and I'll forget videos that I made. And I'm like, oh, I made that. So I used to make ones during my college days, like in between classes, I would get with friends and we would make reviews together and talk about, I think My Bloody Valentine 3D came out at the time and we reviewed that. So that's how long ago that was. So that's so rad, man. Yeah. But my first question going into movies, what is your favorite movie and why? So what's your favorite movie of all time? If you had a favorite movie that you... Are we talking overall or are we just talking horror specifically? Well, the second question is going to be your favorite horror movie. So what's your favorite non-horror movie first? Oh, man, that is really tough. That is really tough. It usually switches out between like 2 or 3 movies that grab that top spot. Mm-hmm. But if I had to just gun to my head choose right now, I love the movie Stand By Me. Love it. That's one of those movies that I could just watch. Like if I ever catch it on at any point in time, I have to finish it. It has all those emotional beats. It kind of has everything you need. It has a great cast. It has comedy. It has movies that make you sad. I cry at the end of that movie every single time I watch it. Oh, I know.
It's just an epic journey, and the themes of that movie are absolutely timeless. And Shawshank Redemption, I really, really like as well. That's another one.
I have a confession to make. I have not seen Shawshank Redemption, so
It's great, man.
I
I
need to
feel like
watch
when I
it.
talk about some of my favorite movies, they're kind of like dude bro classics like Stand By Me and Shawshank Redemption and True Romance. But there's
Oh,
a reason there's so many people's favorite movies. I think Shawshank is still the #1 movie on IMDb, if I'm not mistaken.
is it really?
I think
Wow.
so. I could be wrong. I know it's up there. You need to watch
That's
that
fun.
movie. It's
I
amazing.
will. Well, and I also got to watch True Romance, so I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen that one either, so I
Oh
need to
man,
watch that.
they just released a 4K of that. But
I
Stand By
know.
Me is probably the one that I would consider my favorite movie. It's just so classic.
I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to your favorite horror movie in a second, but we do have questions real quick. Sean Brown says, "Have you guys picked up the Wrath? I always pronounce it wrong on Blu-ray. I heard the transfer is poor. I just bought the Blu-ray, so
Have you got a chance to watch it yet?
I've yet to watch it. I still have yet to watch. I've seen the movie. I love the movie, but not the Blu-ray transfer.
I have they're hiding there. I have every single one of those, and I'm going to buy it just because that's like the first boutique label I was able to get from beginning, and
Sure.
have all of them. So I will buy that. I have not seen the movie. I know some of the transfers on those Vestrons have been questionable for some people.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think for me, that kind of brings back, because, I have a question for you later on, but the video store days or watching them on VHS, like that's how we first saw the movie. So I don't mind some grain in a movie. Like
Right.
it brings back memories.
Vinegar Syndrome's really good for that. They keep a lot of natural grain in their restorations. But I've never seen The Wraith. I've heard great things about it.
Wow. You've never seen
Clint
it.
Howard in that?
Clint Howard, Charlie Sheen, Sherilyn Fenn, who I love. I think Sherilyn Finn's awesome. Nick Cassavetes, who directed The Notebook like decades later. That's a great cast. Great movie. You're gonna love it. So
I need to order that because I need to order it now before the slipcover sells out because I refuse to have one without a slipcover.
I have a couple of them without slipcovers, but everything else has a slipcover. Let me try to go back to some questions real quick. Jeff Assassin, I'll pull this one up. Favorite horror movie from the 80s?
Hey, what's up, Jeff? I see him all the time on my channel. That's one of my good buddies there.
What's going on, Jeff? Thanks for stopping in.
Favorite horror movie from the 80s? Oh, man, that's rough. What's yours, man?
Fright Night, 1985. Absolutely love Fright Night.
You had that one quick. That's your favorite, huh?
That is I kid you not, my top 3 favorite movies of all time. So Fright Night. Yeah,
it's
that's
good.
my favorite.
If I had to go for 80s, sometimes it's hard to pick a favorite, so I have to kind of think, which movie have I just watched the most?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say like the 80s movie that I've probably revisited the most would be Sleepaway Camp. I can't get enough of that stupid movie. I can watch it over and over again. The Shining is also really, really great. But Sleepaway Camp's probably my favorite 80s horror.
I love the song, too. Every time I watch that movie, I listen to that song over and over and over again. So,
yeah, it's so good.
But yeah, and my favorite non-horror movie is actually, and it's in my top 2, is Some Kind of Wonderful.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen Some Kind of Wonder? Well,
yeah,
I've never seen
True movies. I'm a big John Hughes guy, and I've never seen that one.
Well, I've never seen Shawshank Redemption or True Romance, so I'll watch those. You have to look at Some Kind of Wonderful, though.
That's one of those ones that I've been meaning to see forever. I need to watch that.
I can quote the entire movie. That's how many times I've seen that movie.
I know it's great. I've heard so many good things about that movie. I need to see it.
That's a good one. Scatterbrain. What's your ranking of the big 3? So Nightmare, Halloween, and Friday the 13th. What's your favorite? How would you rank those?
So are we going from worst to best? Not worst, but like, you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, least to favorite. Yeah. Go least to favorite. What would be?
My favorite. Okay, it would probably be Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare.
So did you go least to favorite?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you go least to favorite or favorite to least?
Least to favorite.
Least to favorite.
Yeah.
Mine would be going least Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween. But that's really hard because I love those franchises. So
it is, yeah. And when it's worse, it's not that I don't like any of those. I will say, and this is kind of crazy. I didn't see the first Halloween until like, this is kind of embarrassing to say, like a couple 3-4 years ago.
Really?
I just never watched it. I know I shouldn't even admit that out loud.
It's okay.
It's just true like growing up, I think it wasn't the ones. It just wasn't one of the ones that I grew up watching.
Yeah.
I don't know something about it. It just didn't jump out at me like Freddy and Friday the 13th did. And I think I remember renting it probably when I was way too young to watch it. And for some reason, I thought it was a little slow or something. And since then, I've watched it so many times, the original, and it is an incredible, moody horror movie, and I do love it.
Carpenter classic, and I'm telling you right now, that is my favorite movie of all time. And people are like, "That's your favorite movie of all time?" And I'm like, "Yes, Halloween." Yeah, Halloween.
It's
absolutely.
Really moody. It's got vibes, and the soundtrack's so amazing.
It is, and like. It's still eerie when I watch it personally today. Like when I watch the movie, there's some creepy, even the creepiest small stuff in that movie.
Yeah,
still works. So, but Dale, let's see, get these questions here. Hey, Born to Be Rad's in here. What's going on, Garrett? How are you doing?
What's up, Garrett?
What's going on? I'm going through these questions. How you doing, Garrett? He says I'll pull this up real quick. The two Justins 2021 versions of the Coreys.
My man.
Thank you. We love you too, Garrett. We love you too.
That's a good dude right there.
He's awesome. Awesome. Yes, he does. I will leave his channel down in the description too. So go subscribe to Born to Be Rad. So but let's see, we got some questions. Dale, he says, what do you think of the Prom Night remake? I kind of have an unpopular opinion here, but what do you think of the Prom Night remake?
Here, I'll tell you what I think of it. I watched it once when it first came out, and I don't even remember it, to be honest with you. I don't really remember it.
I saw it 2 weeks before my own prom. We went with a group of people. I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. Don't love it, but I do like it. So
I remember. There's like a lot of movies I need to go back and rewatch. Isn't it a lot of off-screen kills and stuff? Like
kind of off-screen kills. In the unrated version, I think you see a little bit more blood, but yeah, it was more thriller than a slasher movie. I think. If you're going to make it a slasher, make it full on. But I think it was more thriller than anything.
I think it had the girl. Doesn't it have I used to be a big Real World fan. Didn't it have the girl from Real World in it? She's in a bunch of movies now. I can't remember her name.
Brittany Snow?
No. Oh, she's in that, though, isn't she?
Yeah. There's another girl, and I know who you're talking about. Jessica something. Real World. Oh, I will have to go back and look it up. It's been a while since I've seen it, so
yeah,
it's not one of the best remakes. It's definitely one of the least of the remakes out there, but I like it. I dig it. So, let's see. Oh, Sean says you can get The Wrath. I don't know if you have a Walmart near you, but you can get The Wrath on Blu-ray at Walmart with the slipcover.
Oh, I need to hunt that down then. It's
Yeah.
always cool when you can find titles like that in the wild.
I know, like Walmart's starting to get them. They did the last two, which were Shivers and Little Monsters. And I was like, yes.
And they brought the
Walmart.
prices down, which is nice. They're like super reasonably priced now.
Oh, I know. And you still get like great bonus features. You get the slipcovers, you get it all. And you get digital copies if you're a fan of digital. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Going through. Let's see. Sean Brown, he says, I like Vestron for their prices. Definitely. I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers for Fright Night Part 2 from Bestron. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would.
That would be amazing. All right, so Adam, Jeffrey, I'll pull this up. He says, what's the scariest movie of all time? For me, it's The Exorcist. Would be the scariest movie for you?
That's up there. I think I would choose anything different than The Exorcist either. That movie's terrifying. That movie's absolutely terrifying.
The one I think the most, though, for me is Pet Sematary. Like, I still get creeped out with
the OG Pet Sematary, that's Zelda.
OG. Oh, gosh.
It's just, it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to mention The Ring. When I first saw the Ring remake, that was absolutely terrifying. I can basically name only 3 movies where I've actually felt genuinely, I mean, for what it is, like scared. I don't get, like, I'm not going to run into my closet, but movies that are actually super creep me out, that are actually scary, The Ring, The Exorcist, and Hereditary. I know people are really split on Hereditary, but the last, like the tail end of Hereditary,
it's intense.
Is terrifying. When she's crawling on the walls and the piano wire scene, I mean, that was the first movie in a long time that really freaked me out.
I like Hereditary. I'm not one that loves it, but I will admit the last third act of that movie, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, it's intense.
It's wild.
Super intense. The scene, wild. And if no one's seen this movie, but the scene where the father gets caught on fire, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening here?
It goes to that wide shot. It's amazing.
Yes. Oh, and Toni Collette was amazing in that. Like, that's one of her best performances. So
I know, it's incredible. That movie's amazing. Ari Aster's really divisive, though, so I totally get it. A lot of people don't like it.
I walked into Midsommar because like I said, I like Hereditary, but I walked into Midsommar not really expecting much, and I wound up loving it. So I actually prefer that over Hereditary. I know that's a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but
that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Midsommar?
I own like 5 editions of that movie.
Do you really? Sweet. Yeah. I got the standard Blu-ray, and then I got the 4K book that came out, so which I love.
I got that. Yeah. VCR World came out with this really cool. I can grab it right up here. VCR World, I found on Instagram, came out with this Midsummer VHS, awesome. Which is really cool.
So cool.
Yeah. One of my favorites.
I love that. But Garrett, I didn't know this about Garrett. He said he was almost on the Real World Key West back in the day. Wow.
Oh, dude.
That's cool. That is so awesome.
That would have been amazing to see. Dude,
I know.
I killed it on the challenge.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That is so awesome. What's going on, Art? How are you doing? Welcome back, buddy. Basement Blues. What's going on?
What's up, dude?
He says, Tony says, I loved Hereditary and Midsommar. Sweet.
So good.
Garrett says, loved Hereditary, one of the best of the years. Ari is on fire. Hopefully I said the director's first name right. Okay. Let's see. We got Sean Brown says, The Conjuring and The Haunting of Hill House were the 2 movies in recent years that scared me. Yeah, they were creepy.
The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor, those are so, I don't hear anybody talk about those, and they're absolutely incredible. They're amazing.
I haven't seen Bly Manor yet. I have yet to see that one, but Hill House, loved it. I loved it.
So brilliant. I absolutely love that. If anybody hasn't seen that, I mean, that's Mike Flanagan, so he's doing what he does best.
For me, he's one of my favorite modern directors out there right now. So.
I agree.
I have not seen one Mike Flanagan movie that I've been disappointed in. I either really enjoy his work or love his stuff. So,
Spooky Astronauts. I don't know if you saw her recent video. She did a whole video kind of going over his whole career.
And he was like involved with it. I thought he
made a cameo in the video. It was awesome.
I loved it. I love Spooky Astronaut. Her videos are great. Scatterbrain says the Blair Witch Project scared the hell out of me when I was when he was first a kid. Yep, same here. Same here.
I saw that when I was younger. That basement scene. I mean, that scene. I mean, that is just. There's nothing. There's still nothing like that's ever been done like that found footage style, in my opinion.
I know. I agree. And I've seen that movie. I've probably seen it over. I've seen it a lot. That's definitely in my top favorite horror movies. But that scene always gets me because it's going to happen. They're going to get down to the basement. How it ends. But I'm still on the edge of my seat when I watch it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, it is. Let's see. We got going through these. We got Midsommar was great. Art says that. Yes, it was.
That art before.
You what?
Is that art with horror?
Yeah, Art Wishwood. He said that Midsommar was great.
Yes.
Born to Be Rad says that Midsommar VHS is killer. It is.
Yeah.
It is. Tony says both movies, Hereditary, Midsommar, were both great and very well done. I agree.
It's hard to do horror in the daylight. He did it well. You don't see a whole lot of that.
I know, I agree with that. Like Midsommar, majority of it daylight, and it creeped me out. So, Basement Blues. Tony says there is a 2-pack coming out soon of both the Haunting shows. Really? Sweet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what I love Netflix, but that's the one thing Netflix doesn't release a lot of their stuff, physical media wise. So that's really awesome to hear that.
Yeah, that's awesome because I think I was holding out hoping to get a 4K release of it because I don't know if a 4K has been released of that, but I'll definitely pick up a 2-pack. That's awesome.
Me too. That first season, I was finished with it within 2 days. I was so hooked on it.
Yeah, I binged it too.
Yeah. We got Hardcore Media. He says, "Hey guys, what's going on? How are you?" Art says psychological horror is just as terrifying as slashers. I agree.
I think
that's the stuff that freaks me out the most.
I think it can be almost more effective than just a traditional slasher.
Same here. Yeah. So I agree with that. Like slashers for me are fun. They're a good time. You pop them in. It's a fun like popcorn flick most of the time. But with psychological stuff, that's the stuff that gets me the most. That
100%. Like, I don't know if you saw. There's a couple movies that come to mind along that vein. The Blackcoat's Daughter and House of the Devil. I don't know if you've seen those two.
I love House of the Devil, one of my all-time favorites. And then it is. And then Blackcoat's Daughter, I just bought that, so I'm going to watch it soon.
Oh, you're going to love it. It takes a minute, like some of those slow burn movies. They take a second to get going, but once it kicks into gear, it's amazing. And I think is it Oz Perkins? Is that his name? The guy that did Gretel and Hansel? It's the same director.
Is it really? I haven't seen that one yet either, so I got to watch that.
Those movies
are
so beautifully composed and beautifully shot. You're going to love that movie, man.
Sweet. Well, I'm excited for that. I will watch those probably either before October or during October. So some new horror movies to watch.
Perfect Halloween season movies.
Art says I'm still waiting for somebody to dress up as May Queen for Halloween. Yeah. I know, the May Queen. No one's dressed up as the May Queen for Halloween yet. So.
Florence Pugh does that on her Instagram every once in a while if you follow her.
Yeah.
She'll post stories and posts on her Instagram where she still has the actual Midsummer costume from the movie.
Really?
And she'll post about it sometimes. She's a great follow on Instagram, but yeah.
I love Florence Pugh. She's one of my favorite new actresses out there. So
it's great.
Basement Blue says Blackcoat's Daughter was really good. It's an A24 film. I didn't know it was A24, so that's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome.
It was one of those
awesome.
Most batshit endings, man. It's really, really out there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I will watch that soon. Like I said, I bought it not too long ago, so I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay, so question I have for you is, do you remember your first theater experience? Like going to the theaters, do you have a memory of a movie that really kind of sticks with you?
It's funny. I was actually just talking to my dad about this because he took me to my first movie back in the day, and I know it's one of two movies. And my dad thinks I'm remembering it incorrectly, but I want to say it was Batman, the original Batman movie. But my dad tells me that it was Jurassic Park. That's the one that I remember.
I would say for me, my dad tells me it was Muppets Christmas Carol. That was my first one as a kid. I was like one or two. It's a great one. I love it. And then I would say the ones I remember: Addams Family Values, Home Alone 2, and then the one that I remember the most because it was also my last drive-in experience was Hocus Pocus.
Oh, I bet that was amazing at the drive-in.
It was. And it was my last drive-in experience. So I have not been to the drive-in since Hocus Pocus in 93. So.
Oh, there's a second one. So if the second one's good. One thing I will say about one of my most memorable theatrical experiences was back in the day. I don't know. You might remember this. I don't know how old you are, but they used to have dollar theaters where you could usually, there were second run theaters where movies would run close to a year after their initial release. Because movies used to run a lot longer in the theaters than they do now. But I remember I used to sneak into R-rated movies, and I saw Striptease when I went with Demi Moore. We bought tickets for another movie and snuck into that. And then another movie that me and my buddy went and saw, I think we went and saw it 5 or 6 times, was The River Wild with Meryl Streep and Kevin Bacon.
I remember that movie.
It's a really good movie. We were really we saw it about 5 times, but John C. Reilly's in that too, playing like a bad guy.
Is he really? I can't remember him in that one. So, but I remember loving that movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I still have. So Hocus Pocus, I saw it in the drive-in, and I saw it in theaters too. And the theater is still around, and I still go to it today. Like, they've remodeled it a little bit, but every time I go there, I'm like, okay, that was my childhood right there.
That's so awesome that it's still there. That's so rad.
So cool. I love it. Hardcore Media says, I went and saw Slaughter High at the theaters when I was 9. What's your thoughts on that movie? I love Slaughter High. One of my favorites. Love a good, fun slasher movie.
That's one of the restaurant videos, isn't it? That's one. Yeah.
That's such a great one. It is.
I think that was the first movie that I got from Netflix when they used to mail the movies to you. I think that was the very first movie I rented from Netflix by mail.
Oh, I remember Netflix by mail. I don't know if they still do it, but that's how I rented a lot of these slashers.
I don't know.
That's so cool. My buddy Nick, what's going on? This is my co-host from Haddonfield High alumni. Happy Saturday, gentlemen. Star Wars Attack of the Clones was his first theater experience for him. That's awesome. What's going on, Nick? I hope you're doing well, buddy.
How you doing, buddy?
I love his channel. Again, I will leave his channel down below as well. Let's see. Got some other questions real quick. Ben Grimm says, can't wait for the Green Knight from A24. I don't even know what that is.
I just saw a full trailer for that. I went and saw Pig today, the Nicolas Cage Pig movie, which is amazing, by the way. The trailer for Green Knight looks incredible. That movie looks awesome.
I'm going to have to look that up because I might have heard of it. I haven't seen the trailer, though, so I'm going to go look that up after this.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Sean says, not a horror film, but Iceman with Michael Shannon and Chris Evans is very creepy. I love Iceman. So
it's the biopic of that mob hitman guy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I've never seen the movie, but I saw the HBO documentary where they actually interview him. That guy was cold-blooded, man.
He was, and the movie's great. I really, really love that movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's a great one. Ben Grimm says Lion King was his first movie. I remember seeing Lion King in theaters.
Great flick.
Do you remember that? Let's see. We got Nick says, I'm doing well, boys. How are you? How are you, fine men? I'm doing great. How are you doing, Justin? Chilling.
Having a good time.
Talking to my buddy. I'm so happy you're on here. So
I've been watching all I'm loving the You Need a Podcast. that he's been doing with
Oh,
Christian.
they're doing amazing.
I
Yes.
love them. So fun to watch you guys deep dive all those different things. The Spirit Halloween episode was awesome. Hearing all the history of Spirit, I love that.
I did too. I love their You Need a Podcast, but I love that episode. Absolutely. It's got me in the mood for October now and buying stuff from Spirit Halloween.
Loved hearing all that stuff, all those old things that they used to have that I still remember seeing. So good job on the podcast, man. That's really
congratulations,
really good stuff.
Basement Blue, he saw some movies in theaters. He saw the original Star Wars trilogy. Nice. Love it. He saw Halloween, Friday the 13th, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. So very cool. Very cool.
Right. I think Raiders is playing in theaters now for the anniversary. I saw it playing at a couple theaters. So
yeah, I've saw that too. So I think that's awesome. Brian Goes Blue. What's going on, Brian?
What's up, dude?
How are you doing? Just got back from seeing Old. You saw Old.
I saw it yesterday. What do you think of it, man?
I've not seen it yet. I'm going to see it soon. But what do you guys think of it, Brian and Coco?
Yeah, what'd you think of that movie, Brian? That's a wild one. There's a scene in a cave. There's a cave scene in that movie that if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I can't wait to have spoiler conversations. I haven't talked to anybody that's seen it yet. And it's wild. It's a wild one.
Nice. Yeah, I'm seeing it next week, so I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I reviewed it, and I think a lot of people are pretty mixed on it. It's very Shyamalan-esque. There's some I think, unintentional funny moments in it. Some of the performances are a little wonky, but overall, I really, really dug that movie. I really did.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I watched one trailer for it, and that was about it. So I'm kind of going in like with not really seeing too much or hearing too much about it, except for your review and a couple people talking about it.
It's an interesting premise.
Coco says, "Hi, Justins. What's up, Coco?
What is
up?
How
are you? I know. I got a Justin on here with me, so that's cool. The two Justins." Brian says it was wild for sure. It gets you emotional in parts too. It will stick with me for sure. So
that's what I thought. The themes overall are what stick with you with that movie. As I said in my review, there's a lot of ridiculous things going on in that movie, but the idea is just valuing the time you have here, valuing the people that you have in your life, and making the most of every single moment. That's the theme of the movie, and that's what I got from it. I really dug it.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Like I said, it's going to be a good one. I have a feeling it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Hardcore Media says the cave sequence in Old. He said, "Wow, that's all."
Right.
He said, "Wow."
That image is just burned in my brain. It's
oh my
amazing.
gosh. Well, when I see it, I'll definitely talk to you about it. So
yeah, it's got some stuff for the horror fans in there for sure.
Nice. All right, so next question I have, we talked about, some of your first theater memories. What are some of your favorite theater experiences, though? Do you have any ones that stick out to you?
When it comes to that, I can think of actually. You know what? Seeing movies that I didn't have a chance to see because I was like too young for it at the time are always cool. Like we had an Alamo Drafthouse that unfortunately closed because of the pandemic and everything, which sucks. But we had an Alamo Drafthouse right down the street from me, and I was able to see, Pulp Fiction in the theater for the first time. And but I would say the highlight, probably the coolest thing that I was able to see, are you familiar with the movie The Room? Tommy Wiseau's The Room?
Oh yeah.
The best worst movie of all time.
Yes.
Greg Sestero hosted a screening of that. And I was able to meet him a couple times, and that was just awesome. that was incredible. I also have another local independent theater here. Man, I got to keep my answers brief because I'll go on and on. I have a bunch of cool things. I've seen Kevin Smith when he's been touring movies. I saw him tour Jay and Silent Bob Get Old. I saw him tour Tusk.
Wow.
I saw Adam Green when he was touring the Victor Crowley movie, and he did a Q&A with that. I've seen some really cool. Kansas City has an amazing local film scene with our Screenland Armor Theater. So they bring in directors and writers for these Q&As, and I've seen some really cool movies that have been on tour. Kevin Smith was definitely a highlight, and Adam Green, like I said, him hosting Victor Crowley, because I think that was just the best way for him to distribute that movie at the time. And he was there. Like, I'm watching Victor Crowley, and then Adam Green is just sitting,
right
2
there.
rows right there, and it was just amazing.
And he's a super nice guy, because I've met him at conventions. So nice.
That's
so
good
nice.
to hear. That's always good to hear.
So nice.
I listened to the Movie Crypt, him and Joe Lynch's podcast.
Love it.
And they just seem like super nice, down-to-earth dudes.
So awesome. I don't know if you remember their show Holliston. I loved Holliston when it was on.
Adam talks about it like in every episode.
Yeah.
And I've never seen it.
Oh, if you love them, you need to pick up season 1 and 2. I mean, it's only lasted
like meta, like it's them doing their podcast or about them, right?
Sort of, yeah. Yep.
Snyder.
D. Snyder. I think their names are Adam and Joel, so I think that's a cool thing. And they have like a movie crypt kind of series like they do now, so I mean, highly recommended.
I gotta watch it. I think it's on Shudder. I think. So I'll check that out.
So jumping from theater experiences, you grew up with video stores like I did. So we were like the age of the video stores.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite memories about video stores?
Unfortunately, when they were really in their prime, I only had one that was really close to me. It was called Cotton's Video. That sticks out because I remember they had a back room with the curtain, and I asked my parents to go back there, and they wouldn't let me go back there. But I'll tell you one thing I do remember that sticks out in my mind, and the rest was just Blockbuster. I grew up going to Blockbuster a lot, but I remember Cotton's Video. It's now like a Subway or something, but I remember seeing the Dead Alive cover up for the first time there, and I think that may have been the first thing of me seeing horror. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Because I was used to watching seasons like Pinocchio and all that shit. And I was like, Dead Alive, what is that? And then Blockbuster was where I kind of, unfortunately, they kind of put a lot of those smaller places out of business, but I was in and out of Blockbusters every weekend.
I mean, that I was talking to, let's see, Brian Goes Blue. So Coco isn't the only one that goes behind the curtain, LOL. They're talking about. I had them on last night. We were talking about it.
about the stuff. What goes on behind the curtains back there?
Behind the curtain, yeah, that's it. The behind the curtain. I worked at Family Video before we shut down, and I told them, I said, we didn't have a curtain. There was a door. That on the door there was a star, and I remember this 5-year-old, just this kid came up to me and was like, "Is that where the movie stars are?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's sort of."
Hold on, I didn't know that Family Video had adult movies.
Some stores did. Now other stores didn't, kind of depending on the state. Like, because we had one, and then because I live literally a bridge away from Indiana, and Indiana did not have one, so.
Yeah, I didn't have those in my area. That's crazy.
Yeah, we had one. I used to have customers all the time that would walk in and go, "We didn't know you had that room." I said, "Yeah, we have one. That's do."
Hilarious.
Well, we have one. My favorite memories have to be about video stores growing up, because I was going every weekend too. Like, I had Movie Gallery and I had Blockbuster, especially Movie Gallery. Yeah. But as a kid, I always loved driving up, and you saw the light display, the posters in the window, especially a lot of mom and pop video stores.
Mm-hmm.
And then going in and smelling the popcorn when they were like making popcorn. I mean, that was like the best. Like I loved it.
When I worked at because I worked at Blockbuster, and they were crazy with the things that they would do. I remember the district manager at Blockbuster, and I shit you not, she would have me. Well, they have you pop popcorn like every half hour, just so you could smell it in the store. Yeah. And then this one district manager actually had me taking like the powder butter stuff and throwing it on the carpet.
What?
So that I'm like, this is just too much. But those corporate video stores were something else, man. But I miss them.
I do too. My last job was Family Video. Like it was I was there for 6 years. I was so heartbroken when
they held out for a really long time, man.
Long time. And we closed before the pandemic. So we closed like literally a week before the country shut down. We had to get out of there, pack everything up and go. But I know Family Video opened back up like I think April of last year, and because movies weren't coming out in theaters, they just were not doing well. Yeah. And I think that's why they closed down. So
I'm selling. They were the one near me was like selling CBD and all kinds of.
We had that. Yeah, we had that too.
Did you guys at Family Video have to do the movie destroys? Destroy the movies at Blockbuster. I don't know if when I worked at Blockbuster, and this is crazy. Like when they get a new release of a movie, they'll order like 200 copies of it, to fill up the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
Once the demand goes down, they would have us with a little sheet with like 4 or 5 sheets of movies, pull them all off the shelf. We would take the disc and have to put them through a shredder.
We never did that.
Hundreds of movies. Hundreds. It was absolutely insane. I imagine over the course of, all over Blockbuster, literally just shredded and threw away millions of movies. It was gosh.
Insane. We never did that. We would always once they went off the new release wall, we rented them for $1. So they were still doing well because you had dollar rentals. And then eventually we sold some of them for $1, some of them for $2.99, but we never shredded them. I think my heart would hurt a little bit every time I would shred a movie.
Depending on which manager, store manager was working at the time, I would because I bounced around all different stores. I was like a shift manager that went from store to store. But sometimes those movies went in my trunk, and I just go home with a big sack of movies.
There you go.
A lot of them are out of print now. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, Sean Brown says, I love the mom and pop rental stores more than the chains. I love Movie Gallery. I love Blockbuster, but there was something about the mom and pop video stores that were special. So I loved them. I lived in Arkansas, and there was a guy who owned a video store and a pizza place. So they were connected. So you would smell pizza as you were looking at movies.
That's amazing.
And I would say 08, this was 08 or 07. He still had rows of VHS tapes renting out.
He was still renting them?
Yeah. Still renting them. Had DVDs, had Blu-rays, but rows of VHS tapes.
That's crazy.
So, it was like going back in time when I walked in there. So
nowadays, I'd be afraid to let those things out of my sight. I'd be afraid people would rent them and not bring them back or something.
I know.
They're so sought after, it's crazy.
Well, it's like when I walked in there, the one movie I always remember as a kid was Witchboard 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, do they have Witchboard 2? I'm just kind of curious. And I went down the horror movie aisle, and they had Witchboard 2, and then they had Witchcraft 1 through 9. They had just The Birds 2. They had The Birds 2. So many different movies on VHS.
That's wild.
Yeah. It was great. Yes, I agree.
Those are classic cover arts, those Witchboard movies.
I know. And you talk about walking through the aisles and coming across Dead Alive. I was like that as a kid too. I would go through the horror movie aisles and see so many different ones.
Yeah.
So that was always my favorite thing.
Oh yeah, me too.
Sean says, did you guys, I guess, know Curtis Mathis Video or Hollywood Video? I knew Hollywood Video. I don't know about Curtis Mathis.
Never heard of that.
Mm-mm.
It must have been a regional thing or something.
Yeah. I remember Hollywood Video. All right, so jumping into other kind of movie related stuff. This is something I ask everybody. What's your favorite snacks when you watch movies? Like theater movies, at home, whatever it may be.
Sour Patch Kids and Mike and Ike's are my go-to.
Yeah.
I love those two. I'm one of the people that also likes Good and Plenty's, that old school gross ass black licorice.
Yes, I remember that.
I love them, the little purple and white ones. I love those candies. And then I like all kinds of stuff. They used to make back in the day. I don't know if they still make them anymore. But when I was a kid, they used to have things called Butterfinger BBs. You remember those?
I remember those. I loved them.
Butterfinger balls. Those were my go-to. But nowadays, Mike and Ike, Sour Patch Kids, and then something classic like a Butterfinger or Twix. I can always do. And you got to have some popcorn on deck.
You got to. You know, I'll have to send you a picture of this. But when we closed Family Video, no one wanted to buy the Sour Patch Kid standee that held candy and Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, no way.
And, yeah. Well, get this. My district manager at the time almost threw it out. And I said, I'm going to take that. Like, can I have that? And he's like, take it. I have it. It's right there.
That's amazing.
It's a huge Sour Patch Kid. Like, they have all different candies in there. So I'm going to have to send you a picture.
Do you watch the Flick Pick, the YouTube channel?
I do. Yeah,
he just got one of those from a Hollywood video or a Family Video that closed.
Yeah. I loved it. That's amazing. So Family Video, I'm always going to remember the clock that I took. For some reason, I'm like, I'll take the Family Video clock and the Sour Patch Kid that I have. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. I'll send a picture after we're done and let you see this guy.
When Blockbuster closed, I took a bunch of those backer cards, like all those placards that went on the shelf. Yeah. I got about 200 of those, but that's all I got.
Nice. It's going to be those memories, though. You look at that stuff and you think of Blockbuster, though. You think of the memories you had. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Jamie? Hello, how are you? So, Jamie, thank you for stopping in.
What's up, Jamie?
Art says red vines and peanut butter or peanut M&Ms. Yes. And then Scatterbrain says, who makes the best microwave popcorn? Who makes the best microwave popcorn?
I mean, I'll dig some Act 2, but good old Orville Redenbacher's, I think he's got it a lot.
Same here. I would say you talk about Mike and Ike's. When I go to the movies, I have to get an icy. Yeah, because I'm a sucker for them. I love them every time I go to the movies. Popcorn, of course, and Mike and Ike's. That's all. I will get those. Sometimes I'll mix it up and get like cookie dough bites, but
or the Bunch of Crunch. Yeah, there's nothing better than like I went to the movies today to see that movie, and there's nothing better sitting down in your chair with your snacks, knowing that the only thing you have to worry about for that 2 hours is eating your snacks and watching your movie.
Watching a movie.
There's just nothing better.
I agree. That's my escape. Like I go to the movies and escape from the world and watch a movie for 2 hours and eat some good snacks. So I love that. Sean Brown, he says nothing like that sweet and savory wash down with a Bladder Buster soda. Okay, there we go.
What's that? Where do I recognize Bladder Buster from?
What is that from? I know. I've heard of it. What is that? Sean, let us know, please.
I know I've heard that somewhere.
Sean says, by the way, Justin, I'm the guy who sent the Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers VHS. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I remember that. Nice. I remember that. Thank you, Sean. It's good seeing you. Thank you for stopping in. Jamie says a giant popcorn and a gigantic soda, heaven. She's like, I'm a traditionalist. It's popcorn for me. I agree. But how are you doing, Sean? How's life? So I remember you, buddy. So, what is like, so do you have like when you're watching a movie at home, is it like popcorn and Mike and Ike's, or is there another food that you just, when you're watching a movie at home?
Pizza and wings. If I'm doing it at home, I'm getting pizza and I'm eating wings.
Nice.
And then I'll usually snack some ice cream or something after that.
Same.
I'm a big glutton for snacks, so there's rarely a snack I won't eat.
Same.
But
Same
if
here.
I'm planning my Friday movie night and I know I got to watch some movies, I'm ordering a pizza, I'm getting wings, I'm having some soda pops, and I'm just having a good old-fashioned pizza party. That's my jam.
That's mine too. That is mine. Okay, I got to ask you, pizza. What's your favorite pizza, Papa John's or Domino's?
Okay. I almost want to ask what yours is first, but I know I get so much hate from this, and this is a bit of contention between me and my friends.
Okay.
I am a massive Papa John's fan, and everybody thinks I'm insane for liking Papa John's. I think it's the best delivery pizza.
Hey, I'm not gonna. And I'm being truthful when I say this. I'm Papa John's too, so
They have
I'm
the
a Papa
best
John's
delivery
guy.
wings. They have the best delivery wings.
But they're just good, and I'm the same way. I used to have coworkers all the time go, Justin, go Domino's, and I'm like, no, like I'm a Papa John's guy. Like for some reason.
Thank you.
You're
Somebody
welcome.
finally agrees with me. I like Domino's is fine. Don't get me wrong, but when I'm ordering Papa John's, that's Papa John's. That's where it's at.
It's the best. I love it. And then I have a friend, my friend Doug's like Pizza Hut. I'm like, no, it's Papa John's for me. Like it's always
when
Papa
I was
John's.
Growing up, that's all my parents got was Pizza Hut. Yeah, it just doesn't hit the same anymore.
No, it does not. It does not. Let's see. I bet Kansas. Scatterbrain says, I bet Kansas has some delicious wings. So.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of really good wing spots around here. I live kind of like in our main like little. There's some hot spots for all kinds of great restaurants, and there's some great barbecue and wing places, and really really good food in Kansas City. Great food city.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Brian, I think Brian Goes Blue is a Papa John's fan. He says Papa John's loads up on toppings. Yeah. We get the works from them, and it's heaven pizza. So good. Yes.
So, and the garlic sauce.
Oh my gosh, the garlic sauce, and I'm also a breadstick fan. So I like their garlic breadsticks, and like these are amazing. Yeah. Absolutely love them. So yes, I'm glad you're a Papa John's fan because I am too. I thought I was the only one.
I'm a big Papa John's fan. I fight with my sister. I do movie nights with my sister all the time, and she refuses to eat it. She refuses to eat it, so I can't get it. So I'll eat it by my damn self. I don't care.
I love it. Me and my dad love Papa John's, so we love it. We love it.
You got to get it well done. Do you get yours well done?
Sometimes, yes, but I haven't a lot. But I'll have to try that. I know, like you did a video with your sister. You put it in the oven, so I was like, "That's cool." I've never done that.
Yeah, that's what she does. Anytime she gets delivery pizza, she puts it in the oven and cooks a little bit. But that's her deal.
Cool. That's cool. I like it though. I like it.
Shout out Rachel if you're watching, my sister.
Nice to meet you, Rachel. So I love that video, by the way. We'll talk about a movie in a minute when it comes to that video. Sean says Blockbuster is a large the Bladder Buster is just a large soda that causes you to go to the restroom in the middle of a movie. I know.
Yeah, that's it.
With me. Let's see. Okay, Scatterbrain says, okay, let's get real for a second. Let's rank the big pizza delivery. What is a big pizza delivery?
Like Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Domino's.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it the big three?
I think it's the big three. I think so. I think that's what he means. For me, it's Papa John's, maybe Domino's, and Pizza Hut. Papa John's is the best.
Yeah, that's me. I got the same ranking.
So awesome minds think alike, the two Justins.
That's right. Two Justins, what's up?
What's up, guys? Jamie says, LOL, you haven't had bad wings unless you've had them in Western New York. New York. This is the home of the Buffalo Wing. Unless you've had them.
Heard that. She's saying that's where the best wings are?
Yeah, the best wings. You haven't had wings unless you had them in Western New York.
You know why I wouldn't fit in there, though? You know why I'd get yelled at? I don't do blue cheese. If you bring ranch,
I don't either.
If you do ranch around in New York and try to put that shit on your wings, that doesn't fly.
I do ranch. I'm not a blue cheese fan, so I'm a ranch person. I'm a ranch person all the way. Ben says I went to Kansas City. I can't talk apparently. It was always about getting ribs and barbecue.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's what we're famous for.
Nice. So going into collecting now, DVDs, Blu-rays. Let's see, what's the question? When did you start collecting physical media? Was it the Blockbuster days?
It was probably a little after that. I built up a nice collection of DVDs. I used to work at a kind of a second-hand type of vintage stock type of place, except it was a more local one. It was called CD Warehouse. That might be a national. I don't know if you have CD.
I remember CD.
You have CD Warehouse. Yeah, I worked at one of those, and I started building up a collection. But then for some reason, I don't know. I ended up selling a lot of them, and I only had a handful. And then within probably the past 5 or 6 years is when I really started to build my collection. I think I first got into it when I bought a few movies, and I started noticing that it was the same company. I think I noticed that I looked at 3 or 4 of my movies and I saw a Scream Factory logo or something like that, and I was like, so what's this? There must be companies that put out all the type of movies that I like. And nice. Then that's how I got into the whole physical media YouTube thing, and then it just exploded, and now I got all these behind me. In my other room, I got another shelf. It happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, I know. I look around the room I'm in right now. I have movies behind me, movies on that side, movies on that corner. Like, it's amazing how it grows so quick. It's like, wow. So.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with, just with the buying online, because, back in the day, you'd go and you'd buy it in the wild. You really wouldn't find those super obscure titles. You'd find a lot of the main titles and some horror titles. But now you can literally find every random movie. Like, I remember Scream Factory put out Lady in White, which is one of the first horror movies I ever saw. And that's kind of what got me into it, And then you realize that there's so many things you can collect in the horror space. So now I'm just in big trouble.
Oh, I am too. Hey, we talk brain scan. Who would have thought we would have had a Scream Factory Blu-ray brain scan? Like, that's awesome.
I wish it was a collector's edition, but I'll take what I can get.
Same here. It needs a collector's edition.
I just wanted the slipcover.
I know. I love the slipcovers.
I'm a slipcover horror man, and I wanted that too.
I'm a slipcover horror too. I love them. So I'm a sucker for a slipcover. Let's see. Ben Grimm asks, what's the title you have the most of? So what's a movie where you have the most copies of?
True Romance and Midsummer.
Ooh. Halloween for me, Carpenter's movie. And yes, I ordered that 4K. I have so many copies of that movie, but I was like, I'm going to get the 4K.
Those are really nice editions.
Yeah, they are.
Do you have like Laserdisc? Did they do Laserdisc at the first Halloween and stuff?
I have a UK Laserdisc that my buddy gave to me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I have the Anchor Bay. I have like several Anchor Bay VHS tapes. Like, it's all over there. I wish I would have grabbed it, but I have a VHS tape from Anchor Bay, and it's a two VHS tape set. And the Halloween VHS tapes are orange. So you have orange tapes for VHS.
Like the actual cassettes orange?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's so awesome. So awesome. And I still have my mom's Halloween VHS tape, because when she was getting rid of her VHS tape, she almost threw it away. And I'm like, do not throw that away. I will keep that. It's so beat up, but I have so many memories with it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see, we got some other questions here. Sean says, or asks, what is an out-of-print title that has eluded you guys? Eluded. Is it something you don't have? If I'm wrong with the term, I'm sorry.
There's probably a couple. What's yours? What are a couple that you're after?
That I'm after? Oh.
Yeah. Or that you missed, that you regretted. Like that you regretted not picking up. Like, is it ones that are like they made a couple like limited editions that sold out, or like ones that they came out with years ago that they still haven't reprinted? There's a couple different, like, I know for me,
what's
Dead
one
Alive
for you?
is one that I wish I had.
Yes. Dead Alive. I'm trying to.
Ticks is one that I wish.
Ticks. Yeah.
I think that got a Blu-ray that doesn't have one now.
I have a burn Blu-ray of it, but I want the real thing. I'm bad.
Yeah.
Yes, I own some burns.
Yeah, I got a couple of those too.
What are some? What are? Oh, gosh, I'm trying to think. There are some movies. Thinking about it. I know. So here's my thing. Every once in a while, you'll watch a movie, and you're like, I'm never gonna watch that again. So you get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm that person that like I will want to go watch it again. I'm like, oh, it's $5. I bought it for $5. I'll just go pick it up online.
Yeah.
And you look it up and it's like $89 to $100 and you're like, why?
I know.
Why?
One thing that's interesting that's happening now, which a lot of physical media collectors might be upset about, but there's a lot of Blu-rays. Like, for instance, I picked up I ended up for some reason getting rid of my Donnie Darko, the limited set that they came out from Arrow. There's things like that I got rid of for whatever reason. I don't know what got into me. I just had a stack of stuff that I hadn't watched in a long time, and I was like, maybe I'll just get a standard edition or something. And then I noticed that it shot up to crazy prices. But a lot of these now are getting re-released in 4K. Yeah. So if there's things that you've missed that are on Blu-ray, there's a great chance that they're going to get a 4K release. So,
well, it's a movie, and I never thought it would go out of print. I mean, I own the Blu-ray. Near Dark. Remember that Blu-ray that they had?
Yeah.
I mean,
with that terrible artwork, that terrible artwork.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about the artwork. So I got it for $7.98 when it was in print. It goes for like $100 most of the time.
That's crazy. I don't know what the holdup on that is, but I imagine that I'm going to plug in my phone. I imagine that that'll be getting a release sooner rather than later.
I agree. Hopefully. I agree. Yeah, I hope so. Fright Night Part 2. I want that as well. I'm a big Fright Night Part 2
Right now, I think do you have that one that they sell on Walmart, that like Spanish edition or something? That
I don't own that. I have a made-on-demand Blu-ray with artwork and everything. But I think Garrett might have that Fright Night Part 2 Blu-ray.
Yeah, I saw Christian Hannah Horror had got one a while back and was talking about it. It's up there on Walmart. I don't know if it's any sort of an official release or not. But
I have the DVD. I have the Artisan DVD.
Yeah.
So.
There's another throwback company right there.
Artisan DVD.
Yeah.
I have the Terminator 2, like still VHS, not VHS, but DVD slipcover. Remember the metal slipcover?
Yeah.
With the DVD, I still have that.
That was a cool edition.
I have that. Yeah, I love it. Artisan, yes, there's a throwback company for you. Yeah. Brian goes blue. Let's see. Question: Scream should take note from Vinegar Syndrome and go back and release slips for older titles. People want them, like Brain Scan. Yeah, that would be cool.
Scream. There's a lot of things that Scream needs to do. The Scream Factory needs to do. There's slip, and he brings up a really interesting point that they know how much people go crazy for these slipcovers. They should re-release them. And I also wish that they would do, like, Vinegar Syndrome does so many things right. In fact, they just launched an app.
Really?
A Vinegar Syndrome app that I just downloaded today. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but the way their website is amazing. The way they count down the slips so you can tell how many limited editions are left. Because there's sometimes I won't even buy a Scream Factory release from Scream Factory. I'll just go straight to eBay or a Facebook group, and I'll look for one with a slip so I don't have to worry about getting one without it.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question. Speaking of slipcovers with Scream Factory, are there ones in your collection that you wish you had the slipcovers with? Maybe you held out on getting it, and then
I am such a stickler that I pretty much have all the ones that I want. There's not a whole lot that I'm missing except the ones that don't have them, because I have Sleepaway Camp 1, 2, and 3 with slipcovers. I have the Ginger Snaps with slipcover. Night of the Demons. So those big titles, I have them. Yeah.
Same here. They look so. This is the collector in me, but they look so pretty when they're lined up.
Oh, they do.
I love it. I love it. Ben says he has Evil Dead 2 is the most copies of a movie he has. Awesome. Scatterbrain, Kino, and Code Red are starting to do. Oh, I guess they're starting to release slipcovers. Yes,
that's awesome.
Slipcovers.
Scream Factory, just in my opinion, Vinegar Syndrome puts out the best high quality slipcovers of any company, in my opinion.
Me
I don't
too.
know why. Scream Factory, is arguably probably the biggest boutique label. Is that, I don't know if Arrow's bigger, but Scream Factory seems to be the biggest. And their slipcovers are like the cheapest possible thing that they could possibly do.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just don't get that. And they charge more than Vinegar Syndrome does for their releases.
I know.
You know, I just don't get what they're doing with their and some of their artwork. I don't want to disparage anybody's artwork because they have some great artists, but a lot of the times I don't feel like the art fits the movie quite as well as it could. I really like Devin, the dude's artwork. He did like Sleepwalkers artwork, and he did a lot of he actually did the Return of the Living Dead 3 artwork that's on your shirt right there.
Oh, sweet.
And I love his artwork, but Scream Factory needs to step up their slip game.
No, my favorites were always Nathan Thomas Milliner when he was doing the slipcovers, like remember Halloween 2 and 3, and
those are the really old school. Does he not do any artwork anymore for them?
I don't think he does. Super nice guy, by the way. And then Joel Robertson, who did like the My Bloody Valentine, like love.
That's another good one. Yeah,
love. Let's see. We got some people are talking about the Tix Blu-ray released by Olive Films. Garrett has this. Let's see. Tix Blue was from Olive. He said, "What happened to that company?" I think they're still around, but I don't know if they're making as much. So
I have a couple Olive. I have Biodome. I think that was Olive. Olive Films. I got burned on a Tix Blu-ray one time that from eBay. I paid a stupid amount of money, like $50 or something, and it just never showed up. I should have known better.
Oh, I've done that too, and I hate that.
That was at the very beginning when I first started using eBay, and then I was like, "Oh, you have to look at the seller ratings. You have to look at how many sales they've made." There's a technique to not getting ripped off on eBay, and I finally learned it by now.
Yeah. So same. I think I ordered a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K Steelbook, and it never arrived from overseas. And thankfully, I was able to get my money back. But I was so bummed out with that.
Yeah.
I wanted that.
It's a learning curve.
It is. I have buddies of mine who are filmmakers, and they have 2 movies out from Olive Films. So I think they're still around because I think they're. Now, I don't want to quote my buddy, but I think they're releasing the 3rd movie at some point. So I think they're still around.
With so many labels, it's probably getting harder and harder for these labels to grab titles because there's so many people grabbing all these titles up. They're probably getting more expensive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go grab a refill of my tasty beverage, and I'll be right back.
No problem. Hey, thank you all, by the way. I'm loving the comments. Sorry if I'm kind of going through them a little bit slower. Still getting used to like pulling up the comments and everything, but thank you guys so much for stopping in. I'm loving them. I'll have to watch that, Garrett. You're talking about your Scream Factory vids. Garrett's talking.
Sorry, I dipped on you.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine, buddy. Going through some of these comments. I think. Let's see. Jamie says I have some doubles, but no more than 2. She has 2 copies of The Shining, The Goonies, and The Crow. Nice. I love The Goonies. I love The Shining and The Crow.
That's a movie that needs some kind of amazing release. When is that going to get a good release, man?
I don't know. You think a company would release it though? I mean, that's a great movie.
I'd like
Great
to
movie.
see Arrow. I'd like to see Arrow put out a really nice limited 4K of The Crow.
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Sean says, I've been wanting to get the Scream Factory release From Beyond for about a year now. There's Pete.
There's
What's
Pete.
going on, Pete? Look at Pete.
What's up, buddy? He's camera shy. He's frozen just.
Let's see. Sean Brown, I've been wanting to get the Scream Factory release From Beyond for about a year now. That went out of print quick, I think.
Yeah, From Beyond. I remember that one.
It's a good You what? It's a great play. It is. Scatterbrain says Near Dark is getting a 4K. I heard about that. Nice.
Yeah, who's putting that out? It's like a Region B or something, isn't it?
It's a UK release, but 4K is a region free, so that's a good thing about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Sean Brown says, I also haven't been able to get the Scream Factory release of the Jeepers Creepers movies. Yeah, they went out of print quick too. Real fast.
I can probably imagine why.
Yeah, same. Born to be Rad. Garrett says, make sure to watch my Scream Factory vids. Come to find out there's a bunch of out of print stuff from them. I had no idea.
Like a complete history of Scream Factory right now series.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm loving them. I am loving those videos. Let's see. Ben says, I'd love for the Pee-wee movies to get a boutique label release.
Nice.
Not joking. Yeah, I would too. That would be cool.
I love those. That was the first Pee-wee's Big Adventure is the feature debut of Tim Burton. That was the first movie that Tim Burton ever directed.
Yeah.
He was like 22 or 23 years old. He was just a kid. His stamp is all over that movie. It's super weird. I love Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I do too. One of my favorites. And then Scatterbrain says Shout could release them. That's Shout Select.
Yeah, I was gonna say give it a select release.
I think that would be neat. I would love that. Scatterbrain. I'm kind of jumping these comments real quick. All right, let's see. Scatterbrains, Screams, early box set. The Animeville box set. Yeah, I have that one. Screams early box sets are like the Animeville box set. I think he was talking about how are you talking about how like the slip covers, like they're kind of great artwork, but like kind of thin? I remember the Animeville box set. It's not like one of those hard shell ones. So I think that's what he's talking about.
The It's Alive trilogy was flimsy too.
Yeah, flimsy. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. I was trying to find the word. Brian Goes Blue says, I recently got Witchboard from Olive Films. That is a great release. Scatterbrain says we need more Pauly Shore movies on Blu-ray. Yes, we do. There's not too many Pauly Shore movies on Blu-ray. So
I know Garrett was just talking about that with Piz about Encino Man. Encino Man still hasn't got a Blu-ray release. Which is
crazy. It's a bummer because I love that. I love Son-in-Law. That's a great movie there. And then We're in the Army Now. I love them.
We need like a Pauly Shore Criterion box set.
Yes. There we go. I love it. Scatterbrain says, Justin, is that Coke spiked? It is not spiked. I do not have no Coke. My Coke is not spiked.
I keep wondering if it's me or the two Justins. I keep on looking around every time I hear my name. I was like, he's talking about me or no?
I don't know. Well, yeah, the two Justins. Which Justin are you talking about, Scatterbrain?
Mine isn't, just for the record.
Mine is not. You said yours is or isn't?
Mine's not.
Mine's not either.
Sweet.
I do love that. I love that. Are you drinking Coca-Cola too?
Yeah, I'm drinking caffeine free.
There we go. Well, I'm drinking Coca-Cola. It's the OG, but still.
I had a Bang energy drink, and I was like, man, if I have any more caffeine, I don't shut up. You got to cut me off if I start talking too much. Once I have caffeine, I get going.
All right,
I'll just ramble on and on.
Hey, I love a talker. I think everybody here would appreciate that. So a talker. So
I just know whenever I record my videos, I have to take 25, 30 minutes of footage and somehow try to dwindle it down to 7 or 8 minutes. It's a struggle for me.
Oh. All right, so going on, I got some questions here. You guys are amazing, by the way. And Jamie says, "What? Encino Man isn't on Blu-ray? It's not. It's not.
It's ridiculous."
Coco says, "Pupper, she loves your puppy. She loves him."
Pete says, "What's up?"
And then Sean says, "Do you guys collect Criterions?" I don't have a big Criterion collection, but if it's something I love, I will pick it up. So
yeah, I have a few titles. I have like Repo Man, and I have Rosemary's Baby, a handful of other stuff. I know their 50% off sale has got like 1 week left or something.
There's still a couple.
Yeah, 50% off through Barnes and Noble right now. Criterions. Yeah. I have like 10 Criterions. Eraserhead.
I think I have like 20. I think I have 20. The last time I actually pulled out the Criterions, I was surprised at how many I had. I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
They're getting ready to release their first 4K title.
Do you know what it is? Because I can't remember what it is.
It hasn't been revealed yet, but it's coming.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. Scatterbrain, are you guys Ernest fans? Of course. I love Ernest.
Hell yeah. I have several back there.
He says, I really want Ernest. Ernest Saves Christmas on Blu-ray. I do too.
That's a good one.
Too. Mine is always.
What's your favorite Ernest movie? Who asked that question? What's his name?
Scatterbrain. Here,
Scatterbrain. What's your favorite Ernest movie?
What is your favorite favorite Ernest movie?
I like Ernest Goes to Camp. That's my favorite one, but I have to watch Ernest Scared Stupid every Halloween.
Same here. That's my favorite. Good. I have to watch it every year. I love it.
So good.
It is. I agree. Sean, let's see. He's got a question here. There's a question I asked Movie Watch Daily on his brain scan video. What was the coolest?
Oh, yeah, I remember chatting with you about this. I actually wanted to do a video about this. He has one of the, if you've seen Brain Scan, his room, it's his awesome. Whole setup. I remember watching that movie when I was younger and be like, oh my God, this kid has the coolest setup ever. He's got a kitchen, a refrigerator, his little like voice automated system, the attic. I always like those attic rooms.
Oh, I do too.
I can't think of any more like other like really cool like horror movie bedrooms. Little Monsters. I always thought his room was really cool.
Little Monsters. Do you remember it was one of the original Disney Channel original movies, Under Wraps?
Like a mummy or was like a kid's movie or something?
Yeah, it was a mummy movie, Under Wraps.
Well, I've never seen it, but I'm familiar with it. He had a killer room.
Yes, he did. I loved it. And then Legend of Billie Jean, if you remember that movie, the guy had like a horror movie room, and I was like, that's kind of cool. So
it's been a while since I've seen that one.
That's go-to one. I love that.
Yeah, the lead girl in that's such a babe. I forget her name.
Helen Slater.
Yeah.
I love Helen Slater. Love her. Yes. Scatterbrain says his favorite Ernest movie is Ernest Scared Stupid. Mine too. Christian Hannah Horror, what's up, buddy? How are you doing?
What's up, my dude? We were just talking about you, buddy.
We were. I love You Need a Podcast. Love it. He said, where did you get that Return of the Living Dead hat?
That's Paul Bearer Press.
Nice. That's awesome.
They got a bunch of really, really cool stuff.
I'll have to check them out. I don't think I've ever been to their website.
They actually have a you need a supplies hat. That's really cool, and they have zombie. They put out really, really cool stuff. They're kind of known for their these shirts that have like VHS stacks. Mm-hmm. So they'll do like a John Carpenter stack or a Wes Craven stack. They do really cool stuff.
Nice, man. Nice. I'm gonna have to look them up. And he says, thanks, I need that hat now. So There you go.
Reasonably priced too. They're like less than $20. They're really good.
Sweet. I'm gonna have to you have to, if I don't remember, you have to send me a link to the website. let's see. We got some looking at these comments. Scatterbrain says Shia LaBeouf's room in Disturbia was cool.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
That was neat. It was.
I forgot about that one. That's kind of a deep cut. That's an underrated flick, man. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. I agree.
Kind of Rear Window vibes.
Oh yeah. And then Jamie, let's see. Favorite horror movie room? I got to go with Sydney's room in Scream. There you go.
She's got a chill spot.
She does. All right. So going on to some other questions. Outside of movies, I think we've already talked about this, but outside of movies, what else do you love to collect?
Well, you can see I got my Boglin collection going on right now. That's one of my recent obsessions. On Sideshow Collectibles, they have a lot of cool things. Like I got this Terminator head here that's pretty dope. I collect some NECA.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. I'm trying to look around. My latest addictions have been Trick or Treat Studios masks and the Boglins. I actually have all three. For a while they were out of stock, but I ordered all three of the Killer Clowns masks that they have.
Nice.
Those are like should be arriving any day, and I'm really, really stoked to get those.
Love it.
So I can't wait to get those. And Trick or Treat Studios also just put up on their site these Ghoulies puppets.
Ooh,
scale puppets. They are pretty amazing. They're high dollar, so I've been holding off getting them. But lately for me, it's been Trick or Treat Studios, and then I'm a big, massive 80s, 90s nostalgia fan. And Tim Clark, the creator of Boglins, he also did a lot of work for Jim Henson and stuff as a sculptor. But he brought back his line of Boglins, and he's bringing back all these new designs of them. So I've been having a lot of fun doing the Boglins. And then every once in a while I'll pick up like some NECA figures and stuff like that. But I'm simply running out of room for where I'm at right now. So it's just too much.
Hey, it's awesome though. Like I said before, your background's amazing. So
thanks.
I love it. You're welcome. Let's see. And by the way, Christian has, and I just love it. I don't know if he's still in here, but the Freddy baby from Nightmare on Elm Street 5, I just think it's amazing. So shout out to Christian with that.
I saw that video he did.
It was amazing. So awesome. So shout out to Christian again. Like that was so cool. Scatterbrain says, once you become a collector, it's not a hobby anymore. It's a lifestyle. I agree with that.
That's so true.
Outside of movies, t-shirts is one. I'm like addicted to buying t-shirts now. And then posters. I'm a big poster fan, but I always have to switch them out because I'm like, I don't have enough room for all of them. I have way too many posters.
Do you go for like the original one sheets, or do you just get the? Because that's a whole nother thing. But
yeah, I'm
sucked into.
I think I'm 50-50. I have some one sheets and I have some reprints. I don't mind reprints if they look good. Like if they're great reprints, I'm happy with it. So either way, I'm happy. Like my buddy just got me this Wes Craven's new Nightmare poster. That's a original. Love it.
Oh, it is an original. I always love that cover, man. It's so cool.
I do too. That's my favorite Nightmare movie, by the way. Is
that's a good one, man. It really, really is. I find it to be a little underrated.
Yeah,
in the series
I do too.
I'm a big Dream Child fan, and I feel like I feel like people hate on Dream Child, and it's like
I love Dream Child. Like
the practical effects in that movie are amazing. The shit is just bonkers. I love it.
I think it's so much fun. Like I love Dream Child. So and I'm a big Danny Hassel fan, so my only thing is he always dies too early on in that movie. I'm like, no, Dan.
I know.
Love him. I love him. And then I have a Witchboard. I have two Witchboard posters. I have a theatrical poster, and like right here, I have a video. I think when they were releasing it on VHS, there's a poster of Witchboard. And I have it signed by the director and then Tawny Katane. So.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Was that Kevin Tenney who did the original one?
Yes, yes. I love it. That's one of my favorites is Witchboard.
That's
absolutely.
Great.
And then Jamie says, OMG, I'm addicted to shirts too. I thought it was just me. It's not you. It's not just you. I'm a t-shirt
There's so many
fanatic.
amazing companies. Oh my God.
And they announce like some every week. And I'm like, I want all of these, but I have to pick and choose.
It's honestly, it's like overwhelming because I want so many.
I want to get the Slumber Party Massacre 2 t-shirt that Gutter Garbs is releasing. So it's the one where he's like
doing a whole new set of designs, aren't they?
Yeah, and they have one that's the killer from Slumber Party Massacre 2, and it's like these bright colors and really cool design. I love it. Scatterbrain, he said, let's see, question here. How do you guys plan your week for movie watching? Is it completely random, or do you guys go down a list? It's random for me.
Yeah. It's
random.
A lot of times I have, like, I buy so many movies, and now that, like, I like to talk about them, obviously, on the channel, so a lot of times I'll have, like, a backlog of movies. Same. And I'll have a stack of movies that I own that I haven't watched. I do a lot of blind buys, as I'm sure a lot of people do. So, like, right now, I know I have a stack. Usually what I try to do is I have that backlog stack, and it'll be sitting beside my TV, and I'll try to just slowly make my way through it, because I have, like, the Vinegar Syndrome televised terror box set that I really want to dive into. It's got some old TV movies, one with like Elijah Wood, and just so many.
I know. I'm the same way. I buy blind buys. I'll buy movies, just movies I probably have seen so many times.
Yeah.
But I'll buy the movies, and I don't know if you do this too. Like, you'll buy these films, but sometimes you'll go to that one movie in your collection you've seen like 20 times on Blu-ray.
I know.
I have so many blind buys in my collection.
I have a lot that I still haven't watched, and I still go back to those comfort movies a lot of the times too, or I just spend too much time watching YouTube. But yeah, I don't really plan it out. I kind of just look at my backlog and think of things that I still need to catch up on.
Same here. And I also find sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch a movie every night. And there's just times where the day flies by and it's like, I can't meet my goal of watching one every night. So
it's tough. I spend so much time editing that, like, filming a video and, watching a movie, filming it and editing it down, it takes me a long time to edit. Like, it just fills up so much of my time. I wish I could, if I could do anything, I wish I could have an editor. Just film my stuff, give it to an editor, and move on to the next one. I'm so envious of people that have that. Editing takes such a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Antonis, what's going on? How are you doing? He says, hey, Justin, what's up, bro?
What's
up? By
the
way, Antonis, this is the other Justin right now. So Movie Watch Daily. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to him yet, please go do so. His channel's down in my description. Go subscribe to him if you don't know who this awesome guy is. So I'm having so much fun chatting with him. You're welcome. Sean Brown, he has a question. What are your guys' favorite bands? What are your favorite bands? Because I have to think about it for a second.
That right now, I probably like a couple. Like, my go-to bands are usually the bands that I grew up with. Only a handful of like super newer stuff do I get into. So like, if I'm looking to rock out and just go to some old school stuff, I'm throwing on Pantera or old Pearl Jam or Alice in Chains or Sublime. But now, as I've gotten older, my taste has really sort of mellowed out.
Yeah.
And I listen to a lot of synthwave and retro wave, like Time Cop 83, just a whole bunch of like random synthwave bands.
Yeah.
City in Color. There's a band called City in Color that I'm really into, a Canadian sort of indie mellow band. High as a Kite, really amazing band from Norway. I'm a big fan of Silverchair. They're a 90s band that went on to do some amazing stuff, but I listen to all kinds of different music.
I do too. Some of them I'm going to list off. Now I can list off singers and bands. Like, my go-to is Madonna. I love me some Madonna.
She kills it. Still kills
it. Still kills it. Hey, I'm gonna say it right now. I still love the Spice Girls. Every once in a while, I will jam to a Spice Girl song and like have a good time.
Who doesn't?
Right.
You telling me Wannabe comes on that you're not just jamming out?
Yeah, right. I know.
And I'm not gonna lie, the movie's kind of fun to watch. One of those guilty pleasure, ridiculous movies.
Same here. I mean, yeah. Hey, I'm gonna say I love it. I will say I would love that movie. Rob Zombie. I mean, I know he has a band, but Rob Zombie. Trying to think of some other ones that I like. When it comes to bands, I really got to think about it because I mean, I love a lot of different bands. Like I can go back and I listen to Heart. I love the band Heart.
Yeah,
awesome. I love a lot of 80s music too. So if I'm listening to music, it's a lot of 80s music. So
yeah, I'm the same way. I listen. It just depends on what kind of vibe I'm in. Like if I go on walks, there's a lot of this instrumental. Do you get any of that synth wave? It's basically like a lot of the synth wave is just like you're placed in the middle of an 80s movie, cruising down a highway in an old like 85 Lamborghini. Like just the instrumental synth music. I listen to so much instrumental synth music. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do too. Sean Brown, are you guys big Tool fans? Tool.
Yeah. Lateralis is probably my favorite Tool album. I don't know what he thought of their latest album. I wasn't really feeling their last album. We waited like 10 years for it. But Lateralis is probably my favorite Tool album.
Looks like we got some love for Tool. I'm gonna be honest. I probably know songs, but I'm bad with bands sometimes. So I've probably heard a song from Tool.
Yeah.
But as far as band goes, I probably hate to admit that, but yeah, I'm not familiar with the band Tool too much. So
they're one of those like kind of love them or hate it bands.
Anyway. Okay. Let's see, going through some of these.
Active chat. I like to see all these questions.
That's awesome. I do too. And if I'm going through these pretty slow, guys, I do apologize. I'm still getting used to doing the chats. We got some love from Sublime. So a lot of love for them. Scatterbrain 90s Grudge / Alternative is the best.
Yeah. Love it.
And then we got, let's see, Born to be Rad. Garrett says, current fave is the Midnight. I do love the Midnight. I love the Midnight.
So. Yeah, they're great.
They're great. Antonis, he says, the full Chucky, this is a different question, but he says the full Chucky TV show trailer comes out tomorrow. Are you guys excited to watch it? I'm looking forward to seeing it. So
yeah, that's awesome. I saw like a teaser dropped a few days and I was all set. Like I wanted to do a little reaction video. And I turned my camera on and started it, and it was like a nothing teaser. I'm like, oh, this is just a teaser. So there is a full trailer coming out.
Coming tomorrow. So thank you for letting us know.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see that. Devin Sawa, I guess, is going to be in that.
Love it.
I'm so stoked to see him.
Love it.
See him in that. That's so rad.
I love Devin Sawa. So
he's great. He's having a little Sawana-sance. There's a little renaissance of Devin Sawa right now.
I love it. I love it. And he was one of my crushes growing up, so I love me some Devin Sawa.
He's the best. Did you see the Fanatic?
I haven't seen it yet. You
gotta watch it, man.
I'll watch it. I've heard it's entertainingly awesome. So, but yeah, I will have to watch that one. But yeah, I'm a Devin Sawa fan. I love the fact that we're seeing more Devin Sawa now. So, and
he's doing great. He's like got like sober or something. He's all ripped. He's in good shape.
Yeah,
he's great. He's killing it.
He is. Antonis, he says, do you guys like pop music? And if so, who's your favorite pop singer? Madonna for me.
But it goes as far as for me, I really like, I listen to everything, man. I really do.
Me too.
I love the stuff that Billie Eilish is doing. I think she has an amazing voice. And I think for a pop singer, she writes her own music and she has a great voice and her songs are cool. I really dig her. I think she's great.
I do too. I'm also a Britney fan, so I still love some Britney music. So
hashtag free Britney.
Free Britney. Exactly. Yes, I'm a Britney fan, and yeah, that's the music I'll jam to. So Backstreet Boys. I'll do some Backstreet Boys too. So I love some Backstreet Boys. Art says 80s. He says, let's dance like in the Breakfast Club. Yes. And you will catch me every once in a while. You probably won't catch me, but I will dance by myself.
What's the song in the big library scene where they all start dancing around? I feel like that's a song that I should know right offhand, and I don't.
I know it, and I'll sing it a little bit. I just know we are not alone. Da, 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 da. That's the only thing I know.
I know the glass breaks. It's so classic.
Yeah,
so good, man.
I love it. I love it. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got? Let's see. Going through these guys. All right, Jamie says, early in the morning, rise into the streets, light up me a cigarette as I slap shoes on my feet.
That's Sublime, baby.
Sublime? Nice.
That's Sublime, baby.
Coco, she says, favorite film score. Favorite film score. I'm going to go John Carpenter's Halloween. I mean, that's a go-to, but
that's amazing. Yeah, that's just so iconic to listen to, man. It really is. That would probably be my favorite vintage horror score.
Yeah.
I have so many favorites that I always try to justify breaking it down into categories.
Yeah.
I have a hard time picking a number one. I mean, how do you deny the Halloween score as like the number one like vintage Halloween score? And I also really love The Shining. The music of The Shining.
Yes.
Is great. And I really love the score for Midsummer. There's some amazing musical cues in Midsummer that are absolutely incredible. So
I love Midsummer. I know it's a score, but it's also a soundtrack, the Fright Night soundtrack, the original Fright Night soundtrack.
Oh yeah, there's some great. It's so 80s and just so good.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, that whole soundtrack I love.
Yeah.
Dramarama, anything. So
there's good tunes in there.
All right, let's see. Jamie says, go down the Tool rabbit hole, Justin. Do it. Okay, I will. I'll jam to some Tool.
There's a lot to dive into there.
Art says, Justin, you got to sing us Don't You Forget About Me. Oh, gosh. Don't you forget about me.
Oh, man.
Don't.
American Idol, here we come.
I used to be in show choir. I don't know if I still have the voice that I used to, but thank you. Let's see. Somebody said my high school friend Melissa had a huge crush on Devon Sawa. Yes, Devon Sawa.
I think everyone did back in the day. Casper himself, man.
I know. What does he say? Can I keep you? There we go. I remember that. Can I keep you? Jamie says Devon Sawa was adorable. He is adorable.
He did a really cool movie. If you guys haven't heard or seen the movie he did, Hunter x Hunter.
I've heard it's great. I haven't seen that yet.
I highly recommend checking that one out. He's really, really good, and it's a crazy movie. High recommend for me.
Yeah. I will have to check that one out. I've heard it's really good.
It's great.
Scatterbrain, and this goes to both Justin's. Justin's favorite final girl and celebrity crushes?
Oh man, that's really tough. It's like, if we're talking final girls, are we talking like classic, like Jamie Lee Curtis, like type of old school stuff?
We could talk old school. We could talk current. So
I'm trying to think of all the movies that I've watched. That's really tough. Who's yours?
Yeah. Well, now I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I love Laurie Strode, but I've rewatched Scream, and I think my number one is Neve Campbell as Sydney. She's great. Every Scream movie, she's just so good in them.
She's like she's like one of the most iconic ever.
Yeah.
I guess if I have to go with what's on top of my brain right now, and I don't even know if this counts, and if it doesn't, like if this is a shitty answer, my bad. I'm really tough on the spot.
I really, really am.
Oh, I am too.
Like,
It's
as soon as this live ends, I'll probably think, oh my God, why didn't I say this? But talking about Midsummer, there is very few movies where a girl or a female character like a final girl, it starts in one place in such a desperately sad, like miserable place and ends in such a happy place. Because in my opinion, Summer is like one of the best endings. Like she truly, at the end of that movie, she finds her group, she finds her people that actually care about her, and she finally becomes happy. You know, that's how I interpret the end of that movie. She's found her people that accept her. Her boyfriend is burning away in a building.
I know.
And she has a look of pure joy in the last frame of that movie. And that score that kicks in. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that movie. That's my pick. As of right now, that's my pick is Danny from Midsummer. Does that count as a final girl? I'm not.
Hey, she could. I mean, that could. I was gonna say like modern one would be Florence Pugh. I love Florence Pugh.
Yeah, she's great.
And the girl from I'm gonna mispronounce her. I think Shawnee Vincent from You're Next. She was great.
Oh yeah.
Loved her.
She's great too. Yeah.
She is. Art says Justin do some NSYNC. Bye. I don't know if I can do bye. I would have to do.
You know who's another good final girl that I just thought? Samara Weaving, Ready or Not.
Oh, yes. Samara Weaving.
How amazing is that?
Yes. First of all, I love Ready or Not, and I love Samara Weaving. Love her.
Her just smoking that cig covered in blood as the place just burns. It just doesn't get better than that. It's amazing.
Love it. I love it. I love her. The Babysitter, she's great in those. So absolutely. Samara Weaving, thank you for mentioning her because she's one of my favorites.
She's so great.
She is. She really is. Let's see. Candyman score, pretty good. Yes, I agree. I love the Candyman score.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Going through this, Jennifer Connelly. Somebody mentioned Jennifer Connelly. Celebrity crushes, real quick. I'll say Danny Hassel for me. Nightmare on Elm Street. Devon Sawa. That's a great one. I think Ellie Cornell's adorable. Like I'm a big Ellie Cornell fan.
I don't know who that is.
Halloween 4 and 5. Remember Rachel?
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen those later sequels.
Yeah. But Devon's like my celebrity crushes though, like easy on the eyes people. I would go Devon Sawa, Danny Hassel, who I got to like meet Danny Hassel and we hung out in a hotel room. I was like, this is amazing.
That's rad.
Well, it was like rad, but it was also like it was midnight. I had my pajamas on. I was ready to go to bed. And a friend of mine was like, I'm going to go down and get chicken fingers to eat something. And she's like, well, I didn't get chicken fingers, but I did bring up, and Danny Hassel pops in the room. And I'm like,
that's the most random shit of all time.
Yeah. And I'm like, Danny Hassel's in a room talking with us and I'm in my pajamas. Like, this is not how I would want this, but Danny Hassel's in the room talking with us. I know.
That's
I
a
love
story.
It is. Let's see. Antonis talks about Final Destination 3. He said, I rewatched. Oh, by the way, what are your celebrity crushes, if you had any celebrity crushes?
My earliest ones are Patricia Arquette. She was in, she was in Nightmare. Was a Nightmare 3, but romance. But my OG is probably Topanga from Boy Meets World, and Christy Swanson from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
Yes.
That I was absolutely in love with Christy Swanson when Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out. She was just adorable.
I love that movie. And speaking of which, I'm gonna go through some more questions from you guys, but then I want to talk real quick some 80s and 90s movies because I have a stack of films right here. But Antonis asked, Justin, I rewatched Final Destination 3 yesterday and I still love it. What are your thoughts on the tanning bed scene? I didn't go in a tanning bed for a long time after watching that. So
that's probably, thinking back, that's probably my favorite in the series, honestly.
I go back and forth between 1 and 3. I love 3.
The roller coaster opening scene is just amazing. The tanning bed scene. There's just so much good shit. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead, there's a celebrity crush for me, man. She's amazing.
She's so good. So good. Yeah. Love her. But yes, the tanning bed scene. It's great. Well, it's great in a way that it's a cool death scene, but yeah, I didn't go into tanning beds for a long time after that.
Those are bad for you anyway, man.
I know. I haven't been in one of them forever. Let's see. Jamie says my favorite final girl is Jenny from Friday the 13th Part 2. Nice. Yes. Love her. And then trying to think any other questions. I don't want to miss any questions, guys. Some love for Samara Weaving, Jennifer Love Hewitt. And then Antana says, why was the boyfriend in Midsommar wearing a bear costume at the end? Well, because he, I mean,
I'm sure there's some kind of like traditional lore that Ari Aster had read about or something. I don't know the cultural significance of it. It looks great on screen.
Yeah. But all right, guys. Yeah, I know. It's a symbolic thing. That's what I was going to say too, symbolic. Yeah. All right, I want to go into some 80s and 90s movies with you because I'm excited for this. First of all, again, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
I'm having a blast, man. Good talking.
Me too. Thank you. But I picked out some, I think like 7 movies here. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure you've seen all these movies. I know the first 2 you have seen. When I pull these movies up, what's your first thought with them? And we'll have a conversation with them.
Okay.
My boyfriend's back.
Love it. I have that. I have that edition.
Yes.
Who put that one out? Was that Kino?
Kino Lumbar. Yep. Kino Lumbar. Kino Lumbar.
That movie starts with me. My grandma, way back when I was a kid, when all the parents and all the adults were out having their drinks and sitting down at the table and getting drunk, it was me and my sister and my cousins on the floor watching movies. And my grandma would just go to Walmart or wherever the hell store, and she'd pick up a bunch of random movies, not even really knowing what she was buying. And that happened to be one of those movies. Watching that on VHS is one of my all-time earliest movie watching memories, and it's such a bizarre movie. If you watch it now, it's the same director that did Parents with Randy Quaid. Did you see the movie Parents?
I haven't seen that one yet. I have not seen that one yet.
It's such a bizarre movie, and I always recommend that movie if to people who like. It could be like an intro horror for people, for even like younger kids or something, but it's truly bizarre.
Yeah, I think it's bizarre too, but I love it, and I have the same memories. It was VHS for me.
Yeah,
and I think it was renting it on VHS one day. I saw this cover, and I was like, I want to rent that, and
it's really clever.
I love it. It is
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Phyllis Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Matthew Fox.
Yeah, the dude from Lost is up in there too.
Yes. And then you know what? Tracy Lynn, that's her name. I really miss Tracy Lynn. Like Fright Night Part 2, Class of 1999. My boyfriend's back.
Quit acting, I guess.
Yeah.
But she's stunning. She's absolutely stunning in that movie. And she's really great. She could have had a really bright future. When me and my sister, we did a movie night video watching that movie, and I did a little deep dive into her, and it just seems like she was kind of over it.
Yeah, and she's one that kind of nowadays. I mean, if you look her up, there's no current stuff with her. Like you don't know where she is.
Anything on her? No socials or anything.
But I love Tracy Lynn. She was great. She was great. But yeah, my boyfriend's back. I have to say, when you and your sister did that video, it put a smile on my face because one, you had such great memories watching it as kids growing up. But also, I'm like, it's rare when I hear people talk about that movie, and I love that film. I love that movie. So
like you, I'm sure you think the same thing. That's kind of like what I love about this platform and what I love about having a channel to talk about those type of movies. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's yeah, the community, and you know, we have the platform. The community is amazing because, like you, I came across that video one day when you guys did the My Boyfriend's Back video, and I'm like, that's awesome. That is awesome that there's a community out there that love the same movies that you do.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, so next movie here. Okay, you talk Christy Swanson. I know we're both a fan of this movie. Mannequin 2 on the move.
I love Mannequin 2. You speak my language, buddy.
Me too. What are your first thoughts with that, and when did you first see it?
I thought this is another thing. I have so many video ideas popping around in my brain. This is one of I first saw this movie on HBO. I had HBO growing up, and that kind of shaped so many movies that I watched to this day. That was one of those movies that used to play constantly. I remember my parents hated it. My dad specifically would say, "You watch the dumbest movies," and I'm like, "I fucking love this movie. How is this a bad movie? Technically, it is a bad movie. Technically, but it's so good.
It is. It is so good.
The same director as Tammy and the T-Rex. You notice? You have the same guy who plays the guy with the mole on his face, and the doctor in Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah.
I love that.
And like, an unpopular opinion, but I think this is better than the first one. I love the first movie.
I agree.
I love the first movie, but I love this movie. I think it's a lot more fun. Like it's just a fun movie, and like you said, it can be considered so bad it's good. And when I rewatched it earlier this year, I was like, it's not for everybody. Like if you were to show somebody today the movie, who's never seen it, they might not like it. They might though.
But you know what's interesting about that movie is like it's almost is it rated PG? Is it a PG rating?
Yeah, PG.
It's like you could show that movie to a kid. Like it's just innocent fun.
It is,
and
that's what it is.
Those type of like fish out of water movies, like Beastmaster 2 or Crocodile. Those like ridiculous fish out of water movies where she's like, "What's a piece of pizza?" It's just that type of silliness is fun to me, and she's just so unbelievably gorgeous in that movie. There's something that's so charming about that movie. And who's the dance instructor guy?
Hollywood.
He's fucking amazing in that movie. He's so entertaining, man. And everything about that movie is great.
Oh, it is. And then when I was a kid, like I think I first saw this on a recorded VHS tape, and I saw this movie before the first one, and my mom was like, "Justin, there's a first movie out there," and I'm like, "What?" Like as a kid, I'm like, Kim Cattrall. We had Christy Swanson in this movie, William Ragsdale, the actor who played Hollywood, the villain who was just hokey in this movie, but he was good. And then you had the three like bodyguards, the Bermuda Boys.
Right, it's so ridiculous. I feel like there was always like that Eastern European, Austrian, like buff dudes trope in those movies back in the day.
Bermuda.
So ridiculous. I absolutely love that movie.
And then I love Nothing's Gonna Stop Us. The song Nothing.
Timeless movie. I love that. Yeah, the ending track.
Yeah.
Who sings that song?
Starship Troopers.
Oh, yeah, Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, that's it. And there we go. Starship Troopers.
Good movie, but I love that tune. So freaking good.
Yeah, I do too. And I'll sing a little bit because I know people like when I sing. So I could sing looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. The words that I found, it's too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want someone should need you. And I'm messing up and butchering the lines, but that's how it goes.
Nothing's gonna stop
us. Build this dream together, standing soft forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
So
there you go.
That song is
very catchy. Very catchy. I know. I love it. All right. So next movie, we got Ladybugs.
Oh, your You're speaking my language, man.
I love Ladybugs. Grew up with this
I
one
own
too.
that. So far, I own all of these. Thank God that finally got a Blu-ray.
A Blu-ray. I
couldn't
know.
believe when I saw that was getting a Blu-ray release. I had some old shitty DVD forever. R.I.P. Jonathan Brandis. R.I.P.
Yes.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yes.
That movie's just amazing. I don't think they would even make a movie like that anymore. I think a lot of people would have issues with the gender swapping stuff in there. Can you even do that type of stuff? I don't know if they would do that in a movie these days. They just don't do that a whole lot. And there's some pretty inappropriate things in that movie now, like with like the dressing room scene.
Yes.
Like, there's some questionable shit in that movie, but it's just at the time it came from an innocent place.
Yes, and it's such a fun movie. Again, I think that was like a VHS recorded day. I think when I watched that, like we had those VHS tapes where you had 5 movies on there, and I think that was one of them. So I love this. I love that movie. Such a great one. Such a great movie. So
and he so obviously looks like Jonathan. All he does is have a wig. Like look at that girl, like the little girl he was into. Not tell that was him, but. The movies like that, as ridiculous as they are, they just have heart. Like that movie had a lot of heart to it, and it's just a good movie.
Well, you got that. You got Just One of the Guys, which is a great one. Kind of the same similarity, swapping.
Me and Garrett, Born to Be Rad, we did a whole live on Just One of the Guys.
And I loved it. Yeah, I watched it. Loved it.
That's such an amazing movie. They want to do a sequel too. Maybe that'll happen.
Garrett told me this, and I actually bought it. There's a one called Just One of the Girls with Corey Haim.
With Corey Haim, yeah. It's a movie.
It's something because I just bought it, so I haven't watched it yet.
It's a movie.
All right,
it's not as good as Just One of the Guys, but I mean, it's cool to watch.
It's fun.
Corey.
Oh yeah, I love Corey. So rest in peace to another one. I love him.
Yeah.
All right. So this movie here, you ready? Now, they don't make children's movies like this anymore. Return to Oz.
Now that is one messed up kids movie, man.
It is. Yes.
At the age that I watched that movie when I was a kid, like I have a couple young nieces and nephews. If I showed that to my little niece now, I think she would be crying. It's terrified within a few minutes.
Yeah. I rewatched it. I mean, I grew up with that movie, so for me as a kid, I was never like fully terrified with the film. I was terrified of the witches. Yeah. But Return to Oz, I wasn't. But watching it last October, I was sitting there watching it, and I'm like, there's some dark stuff in this movie that, they got away with making these movies back in the 80s and the 90s, these dark, grim children's movies.
And I wish they still did that. Movies like Return to Oz and The Gate, they respected the kids enough to know that, like I talked about this in my Gate review, like kids it's fun to be scared. That's when all those type of things that you see in movies are new to you, like that feeling doesn't last forever. Like that type of feeling, you're watching a movie and you're scared by it and you're terrified in it. That is a small window when you're a kid. And it's fun to be scared. That was one of those movies, especially like the roller dudes.
The Wheelers. The Wheelers.
Yeah, holy shit, those guys are terrifying.
They were terrifying. My sisters were terrified of them. But the one thing that got me when I rewatched it was Princess Mombi and the Several Heads.
Yeah, how bizarre is that?
Like that was so bizarre. Like,
and of the and it's all like practical effects. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like think of those poor guys wheeling themselves around on those things all day. Like who knows for how long? And that character you're talking about, all the practical effects of that movie is amazing. Of course, you have Fairuza Balk, who later on to be in The Craft. She's incredible in that movie, and it's just amazing.
It's amazing. I'll tell you
That's
the scene
why I
that
joined the Disney Club. The Disney Movie Club.
To get that one?
Yeah, to get that one because it was an exclusive.
I'm so glad that finally got a Blu-ray release because, growing up, I feel like no one really talked about it. And I think
still
now
nobody talks about it that much.
Yeah. I mean, it's still one that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. So the scene that always gets me real quick about that is the scene where she's going down and she's going down to find Princess Mombi's original head.
Yeah.
And she opens the case and she wakes her up and she goes, "Dorothy girl." And
it's scary as hell.
Oh, it's so scary.
Yeah.
So scary.
I still love that movie. It's been a while since I've rewatched it and I need to revisit it, but so many of those scenes stick out to me.
Oh, I know. Antonis, real quick, he has a question. Did you guys see the movie Old yet? You saw Old. You were a fan
I watched it yesterday. I liked it, but it's definitely, if somebody said they thought it was terrible, I wouldn't argue with them. I liked it, but I could definitely see why some people would think it's not good. I mean, I get it. I like ridiculous kind of dumb things. There's a lot of dumb, cool stuff in that movie.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. So I'm seeing it Tuesday probably. I'll see it this week coming up.
Yeah.
All right. So talk about another movie that was made for kids that could be terrifying, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Little Monsters. There we go.
I was so stoked to see Vestron release that movie. That's one of my all-time favorites. Howie Mandel is so incredible in that movie.
He is. Oh, and I don't know about you, but every time I watch that movie, I always think of Doritos. Or whenever I look at Doritos, I always think of Little Monsters.
And I always think it's cool seeing the old school bag. Like I'm into that vintage type stuff. The old school Doritos bag with a little window in it and stuff.
Me too.
Have you got a chance to dive into the special features on that one?
I have, yes. Loved them.
Yeah. I really loved how stoked Howie Mandel was to talk about that movie. He was really he still has the jean jacket that he wore in that movie. Yeah. And he puts it on. And I just thought that was so cool. He really loved being in that movie.
Oh, I know. And it's a special movie for me. That's one, like with all these, that again, it was recorded VHS tape that me and my sister used to watch all the time. Shout out to Lindsay. I don't know if she's going to watch this, but shout out to Lindsay. Me and her growing up, it was, and I'm sure this was like with your sister, it's like there are movies that you just grow up with that, I mean, you have those memories. Like you have those memories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like with My Boyfriend's Back and you with that one, those type of movies. Like when you watch those movies, it just takes you right back to that place. Little Monsters is so much fun.
I know. And what was his name? The child, or do you remember the character in the school uniform? Boy terrified me as a kid. Boy terrified me as a kid.
Just dude. And then when you got his skin pulled back or something, when they do that one pan shot that goes from the front of him and then it slowly pans back to where you can see the skin is just pulled tight on his face. It's just terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, it is terrifying. And and it's so crazy to think that and I haven't watched it yet, but he was the same lead actor in Career Opportunities. Who played. I mean, that was cool. Yeah, boy,
and he's also the guy who gets shot in Pulp Fiction. Brett or Brad.
Yes.
That's him too. Career Opportunities. You want to talk about celebrity crush? I always think about that scene of Jennifer Connelly riding that horse in that movie. But the same actor, and I forget who the actor is. There's another guy with really great makeup too that has the big bomb teeth, and he has the big crazy shoulders. Like the practical effects in that movie are absolutely top notch.
Oh, I know. And then you got the Savage Brothers in it too. So
yeah, you got Buzz from Home Alone.
Buzz from Home Alone. Was he the one that drank the pee? I think that was the kid.
Piss in the apple juice. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's him.
I love it.
Pre-Home Alone. I'm pretty sure it's pre-Home Alone.
Yeah, pre-Home Alone. Let's see. We got real quick. Let's see. Speaking of M. Night, what's the most shocking twist in a movie? I'm gonna say drawing a blank. What is that movie?
I See Dead People?
Yes. What is it? I'm drawing a blank. What is that movie?
The Sixth Sense.
There you go. Thank you.
A movie in which, like a bombshell here, I've never seen that movie because that twist was ruined for me before I saw it. So I know it's probably still good as a movie to watch, but I was so pissed off
that I heard the spoiler that I just never bothered to watch the movie, because I can imagine a twist like that if you didn't predict it before the end of the movie. I bet that was mind blowing.
Yeah, well, I've only seen it twice. I saw it when it first came out, and then I saw it 2 years ago. Great movie. I would highly recommend it. I think it's Mr. G. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. He says, I don't know if cartoons count, but Little Nemo and the Secret of Nim was hella scary.
Great. What's up, Mr. G? I see him. I talk to him in my comments all the time. It's a
awesome,
good dude right there.
Thank you for stopping in, Mr. G. That's awesome. But Little Nemo and Secret of Nim, they were.
That's a throwback. That is a throwback right there. I remember that playing back in the day about the same time that I would be watching movies like Fievel, like American Tail and Fievel Goes West and stuff, like Rescuers Down Under, like early 90s, late 80s stuff. Ricky Tikki Tavi, those type of
yes,
old school things.
Those are great movies.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I talk sometimes over people. So
no, I have that's one of my terrible habits too.
Yeah, but those are great movies.
Just slap me if I get to talking too much.
Same here, because I'm a talker too. So if that happens, just go, Justin, simmer down.
Yeah, but good call, Mr. G. That's a great one.
That is. Sean Brown says Frank Wiley was the guy who played Boy.
Yeah, that's his name.
Let's see. Garrett says American Tail rules. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It's so sad. Those movies are sad.
Yes, they are. They are sad. What was they made sad cartoons back then. Like I cried during a lot of those.
They're always killing somebody's mom or dad in that movie. It's like, no, just stop.
I know.
That's what they always had to do.
Yeah. Kiana says, I learned Little Monsters was filmed where I live. Literally, there is a scene that was shot behind where I work. That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. What scene was it? Awesome. What scene was it? That's super rad.
Yes, please let us know. That is so cool. Again,
if you listen on the commentary, they had a tough time with locations in that movie, like shooting in this crazy warehouse, and it wasn't the easiest shoot, especially with how many like puppets and special effects makeup and props and all that type of stuff. It was not an easy shoot. So that's rad to hear, Keanu. That's super dope.
That is awesome. And like you said, those behind the scenes that we got with that Blu-ray, you find out about all that stuff about behind the scenes.
Love it.
Scatterbrain says biggest tearjerker in a movie. Speaking of old school, Land Before Time, Littlefoot's mom got me.
Yeah, it goes with the mom and the dad, like, Lion King,
I know.
Baby. No parents were safe in those movies.
Biggest tearjerker, though. What is biggest tearjerker for me? I think all those cartoons were pretty. Yeah, you cried quite a bit.
I don't want to spoil any. I don't want to spoil any movies, but
yeah,
when you find out what happened to River Phoenix character in Stand By Me, that's the scene that always.
Oh my gosh!
It just gets me every single time. Every single time.
Yes.
It just gets me.
I know what you're talking about. I tear up too.
Yeah.
I tear up too. But yeah, I'd say that a lot of those cartoons got me as a kid. Never Ending Story. You know what scene I'm talking about with I don't want to say the
first movie?
The first movie, The Sinking Sand.
Oh, the horse
Yes. Yeah. Oh gosh. My older sister can't watch it because that always gets to her, is that scene. So
that scene's brutal, dude.
It is real brutal. Again, they don't make.
What was this horse? Artax?
Yeah, Artax. Yes, yes.
Artax.
Oh.
Let the sadness get to him, man.
I know. Ending in A League of Their Own when all the women are old and revisiting each other in the Hall of Fame. That's pretty emotional. So
that's a good freaking.
That's a good. I love A League of Their Own. Love it. All right, next movie. License to Drive.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Out of print Blu-ray. They need to re-release this somehow.
Luckily, I snagged that off somebody in some movie group that I'm in. I managed to get that for a decent price. I don't remember what I paid for it, but that's just such an amazing film. It's probably out of the work that I'm trying to think of, out of the movies that they did too, it's probably that and The Lost Boys that are the two Corey's best movies and best performances together. They're just amazing.
Yeah. No, same. I agree.
Mercedes Lane, Heather Graham in that movie.
Love her.
It's just she's so good. She's just drunkenly scratching the shit out of that car with her heels and stuff. You could just hear it scraping the paint. And that movie is just scene after scene of just
so good
things. The driver's test thing where there's just, that movie's chock full of just some of the most iconic 80s scenes of all time. You had the classic 80s dad playing the dad who was also in My Boyfriend's Back. Is it him?
Yes.
Same actor?
No, but that's the Lost Boys dad. The Mike.
Dad.
Yeah,
you're right.
But he's the dad in License to Drive. He's been in a lot of things. And then Carol Kane, the mom, of course, from
she's so good.
So good. You know what gets me? It's the littlest things in that movie, but the scene where they go to like the Sonic like restaurant.
Yeah.
And they order all that looks like great food.
Yeah.
And they never get to eat the food. I was always like bummed out with that because I'm a foodie, so I'm like, oh my gosh, like
that whole movie is just like, it gives you anxiety.
Yes, it does.
Because you're like, oh my God.
But I love it. I go back and forth all the time. I'm like, is it Lost Boys or License to Drive for me? Which one's my favorite of the two Corey movies? And I think it's License to Drive, but Lost Boys is a very close second. So
I don't even know if I could pick. They're just so fucking good. I love them.
They're amazing in their own different ways because Lost Boys is a horror movie and License to Drive is a great comedy. So,
right.
And then Dream a Little Dream, I was a big fan of that one too growing up. I love Dream a Little Dream. Go through some of these comments real quick. Scatterbrain said the Green Mile with the mouse was pretty sad too. It was.
Oh God, yeah, that's really, really sad. The Frank Darabont, Stephen King stuff. There's just some. Stephen King writes some sad. I mean, that's God. Now that I'm thinking about that, the Green Mile, Stand by Me, Shawshank Redemption. Those are all Stephen King stories, and they're just heartbreaking, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Again, I need to see.
The Green Mile is so good. I'm sorry to cut you off. Say I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're fine. I do it too. I've seen parts of Green Mile. I've seen that scene though, so I need to watch the whole movie. And then Shawshank, I need to watch that. Antonis, does the other Justin like horror movie remakes? Do you like horror movie remakes?
It depends on. Here's my deal with remakes. At this point I don't. Okay, here's my thing on remakes. The biggest remakes that seem to get everybody up in arms are usually the movies that they grew up on, that they are the absolute most passionate about. And a lot of the movies that are getting remade, for instance, Halloween, is not my number one horror movie. Yeah. So when it's remade, it just doesn't bother me as much. So if they try to go back and remake like Night of the Demons, which they did, I didn't really like that. That's the type of shit that'll bum me out. When they try to do Hellraiser with the different Pinhead, like then I can kind of understand. But as far as like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And
mine too.
My take right here, I think it blows the original out of the water. I'm not a big Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. Sorry to say it, but that is one of the most incredible remakes ever. The Evil Dead remake from 2013 is one of the best remakes ever made. I think if you just let the movies be what they are, because the thing that you see most horror fans say, or it ruins the original. It's like, no, it doesn't. That original is still there. You can watch it anytime you want. You know?
Exactly. One that got me, because I'm a big Child's Play fan, but the remake, I'm going to say I love the remake.
I love the remake too. I dug it.
Awesome. I did too. And Pet Sematary, I know you like the remake. So
I thought it was great. It's still not as good as Pet Sematary 2, but I love the remake. I thought it was great. You know.
I know. I was a fan of that one too.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. And then Keanu, let's see. He said the scene, this is Little Monster, said the scene where he's walking by the graveyard and it's the National Military Cemetery
where
behind
he's
my
walking
job.
along that big long fence, that cement wall. That's awesome. Yeah.
Nice. And then he says the film studio here were used for all the Monsterland scenes. Cool. That's cool. Monsterland. That's neat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Let's see. Did anyone see Terrified with Heather Graham? I have not seen Terrified with Heather Graham.
I have not seen that either.
I'll have to look that up though.
With Heather
All
Graham?
right. With Heather Graham. I guess she's in Terrified. I'm a big Heather Graham fan, so
she's great. Roller Girl?
She is. Yeah. All right. So speaking of Pet Sematary, I pulled it. Pet Sematary 2.
I had a feeling you were going to pull that one out, and I was waiting for it. That's one of my all-time favorite movies ever. Ever. Clancy Brown in that role is so amazing. I could talk about Pet Sematary 2 forever.
Oh, yes. Yes. And not a lot of people talk about it. So I'm glad you're a fan of that one too, because I love it. I think,
yeah, it's my favorite over the original. I mean, it's just, I saw that one. Did you see that one before the original, or did you see the original?
I did.
First?
I think I saw the Pet Sematary 2 before the original.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's maybe that's why I like it so much, but it just got so much 90s charm and ridiculous
stuff in it. Yeah. But it's so good. Like, I came across it the first time I saw it was USA when they used to play movies and horror movies.
Yeah.
And that's how I first saw it. It's like you said, it has that 90s charm. It's also kind of eerie still. There's some eerie moments in that movie, like things that go on in it.
Yeah.
Clancy Brown's scary in that movie. Like, and then Edward
at the dinner table when his mashed potatoes are coming out of his neck.
Oh gosh!
It's like there's so many amazing things in that movie. And another thing that's really cool about that movie that it's one of those rare movies. There's only a handful, in my opinion, that truly capture the feeling of fall. And that movie has that crisp autumn leaves, Halloween feel. It's just amazing, It's so good. Edward Furlong, Clancy Brown, the dude from ER.
Yeah.
The ending scene when I don't know. I don't want to. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it.
Yes, you can talk. Yeah.
But the melting scene at the end of that movie where she's screaming, that is some scary shit.
I can quote some of it where she goes, "Come here," in that deep voice.
Dude, it's haunting. What did she say? Like, stay with me or something?
Stay with me. Your father and I are trying to work things out.
Oh, God, dude. It gives me the chills when she says that. Yeah, she does say that. We're trying to work things out.
Dead is better. Oh, it's so good. That movie, for the longest time.
I'm getting goosebumps again thinking about that.
I am too, so it's okay.
Oh, my God.
Dead is better. I was like, whew.
Yeah, dead is better. Yeah. I mean, the dirt bike scene where he crushes the dude's face from Big.
Yeah,
it's just full of iconic scenes. The rabbit.
I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah, the rabbit.
I just saw I don't know the name of the company. I just recently came across this thing. It's the same people that put on the screenings at the Overlook Hotel, but there's a company that hosts outdoor and indoor screenings at famous movie locations. There's a screening coming up in October. They're screening the movie outside of the exact house that Clancy Brown was skinning those rabbits in Pet Sematary 2.
What?
Yeah, I just read about that. I sent a text to my buddy. I was like, I cannot believe this is happening, but they're screening Pet Sematary 2 at the house of Clancy Brown where, he's skinning those rabbits.
That is crazy.
And there's a bunch of other locations that they're doing that, but incredible.
You got also the scene, and it's there's two sad scenes in this movie. And again, if you guys have not seen it, we're going to talk about it because I got to mention it. It's the one scene where The dog dies.
Yeah.
Oh, when he's shot, and talk about a tearjerker. That gets to me.
Yeah.
That gets to me.
I told the boy, dog, you can't have the dog in the house, and he just shoots the dog. You can hear him cry in the background.
Oh, and then the song that plays.
If that happened to my dog, I'd take him to the pet cemetery.
I know. I'm almost thinking about it right now. It's like, gosh, but the song that plays in that scene too, gets me. And then the potato truck scene, which I don't want to give too much away, but that whole scene, heartbreaking.
I still say though, couldn't the mom have maybe like just slowed the car down and hit the brakes?
Yeah, I know.
She's just like, we're gonna die. I know. Like, just slow down.
But you talk about a scene right there. You talk about
that was his best friend. That was Eddie Furlong's best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. And the first time you see it, you're surprised because you're like, wow, like you did not expect that. So,
and I love the teased out end credits where all the faces come up and the little bubbles at the end. It's so good.
You know what? I know a lot of awesome people, but you're awesome, Justin, because you get this stuff that I just love. Dude,
this is what it's all about, man. All those little things, man.
And then the Ramones song at the end. I love the Ramones song at the end.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's just classic.
Poison Heart. I love it. All right. So,
I'm right there with you, man.
You know what? Two awesome minds think alike. So,
that's right.
All right. Scatterbrain, real quick, he says, let's see. I don't like this. Antana says, I don't like the stepdad in Pet Sematary 2. Yeah. He's creepy.
One of those people who love to hate.
Yeah. Let's see. Scatterbrain says, which one was better, Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? I'm going, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, all the way. I don't even know how many Goosebumps episodes I saw, to be honest with you. But I saw a lot of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And they actually rebooted that for 2 seasons of a new show. I didn't see the second season, but the first one is actually pretty decent.
Awesome.
But yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark is so incredible. The theme song that plays during that.
Yes.
And it's just everything about that's iconic. Snick, man. I was a Snick kid.
Yeah, me too. And that was something like my sister and I used to reenact the campfire scene, and we would go, and here's the tale of, and throw it in the...
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society.
That's it.
Yeah.
Scary stuff, too. Are You Afraid of the Dark was scary.
And I wish I don't know what the deal is, but that's another show that I wish they would put out in a box set. Like, can you imagine having the entire series in a box set?
Yeah. That would be amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, they need to do that.
See, I have nieces and nephews, so like when they get older, I want to introduce them to some of this stuff, if my sisters don't already. So, let's see. Kiana says, Pet Sematary 2 used to be one of my favorites. I loved renting it. And the zombie dad always scared the crap out of me. Yeah. Clancy Brown's creepy.
He was kind of the homie, though, because he helps Edward Furlong's character out. Like, when he gets bullied real bad, he's like, go home.
Go home.
Kills him. He kills him.
Gosh.
Clancy Brown, real quickly, he did a movie recently that is one of the best anthology movies that I've seen in a long time, The Mortuary Collection.
Yes.
I highly recommend that movie.
I loved it. If you guys have not seen that, I loved it. Loved it. Great one.
Not enough people are talking about that one, and it's a really good anthology.
Great twist at the end too. The twist at the end, love it. I watched it with a buddy. I need to pick that one up.
Yeah, it's great.
Art says Goosebump books and Are You Afraid of the Dark 90s series? Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, we talked about this a little bit. The Gate. Bam.
Hell yeah.
When was the first time you saw that?
Shout out to Sledgehammer Horror. I did a whole podcast.
Love Sledgehammer Horror.
Yeah, I did a whole podcast with him talking about The Gate, and I reviewed it too. I love everything about that movie. Everything about that movie. That had to be, that was probably one of the first horror movies you saw back in the day, right?
It was. It was. And you know what scene got me? Because I didn't see the first time I watched it, I didn't watch the entire film. It was on TV one day.
Yeah.
And all I remember is 2 scenes that really got to me, vivid scenes the first time I saw it, was the Barbie doll in the eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the dad outside the house, you've been bad.
He crushes his face. That was some gnarly gore, man.
Oh
His
my
face just
gosh.
explodes into that jelly and stuff. That movie has some great practical effects.
I know. And do you remember the longest time you could not get that DVD because that first DVD was like so out of print?
Right.
And then now we have a Blu-ray again. Vestron, fantastic job with it. So,
and I've heard I've never seen The Gate 2, and I've heard it's good. Have you seen the sequel?
I really enjoy that one. Scream Factory did it, so
I need to see it. I think it's out of I think it's out of print now, but I really want to see the second one because it has the buddy, right? His like little metal nerd friend.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That movie, the Gate 2 is a lot of fun. I think it's still available. I think you can still pick it up. Yeah,
I gotta buy it. I gotta see that. But one of the standout things in the Gate is all the use of. I kind of went really in depth with this in my review, but the forced perspective that they use to make, like, a lot of that stuff. I think they did some kind of superimposing or special effects, but a lot of it's really it's in camera effects that are pretty incredible. Like the scene in the bedroom where the zombie farmer guy falls on the floor.
Yes.
All of those little minions that you see crawling around on the floor, like the kids are up on one level of the stage. There's a hole cut out in the floor, and those actors are like 20 feet down below. So it looks like they're superimposed on there, but it's really all the same shot. It's incredible what they did.
Oh yeah, I mean, and again, those behind the scenes, everything that they talk about, it's like it's amazing, like you said, and incredible how they did stuff like that. And that was, again, practical effects. Practical effects. Absolutely.
That edition is packed with behind the scenes stuff.
Yes, and Antonis says he's never seen it, so Antonis, pick this up.
Oh, Antonis, get on it. That movie's amazing.
Brad, is it what's his name? Brad, not Brad Dorff. I'm thinking what's his name in this?
Steven Dorff.
Steven Dorff, one of his first movies. So, great movie. Great movie. All right, the last one I picked, The Blob.
I love that movie. And the artwork on that one's really good for Scream Factory, too.
It is. I think this is Joel Robertson. I think this is him. So
I love it. Kind of reminds me of the Prince, Purple Rain.
Yes. Yes.
But it looks great. That movie, and that has Shawnee Smith.
Love Shawnee Smith.
She's so great. She's so great in that movie. Everything about that movie is great. That used to play on a local. I used to have a local TV station in my hometown that played a show called Day Scream Theater. They would play those type of movies, and that was the first time I saw that movie, and it was probably all chopped up. But I just remember so many amazing practical effects in that movie that
Me too.
That are just so good. They did such a good job with that movie.
They did, and you got a great cast in that film. Like you said, Shawnee Smith, who I love. Super sweet, too. I've met her. She's a sweet person.
Oh, you got to meet her? That's awesome.
She's so kind, and an awesome person.
Cool.
Kevin Dillon, I believe. Kevin Dillon? Yeah, he's great. Frank Darabont, I think he wrote the script. So
did he? I did not know that.
I think he wrote. Did he write this? I think he wrote it. Yeah, he was co screenplay writer. So
what a badass.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's not the scene, but it's the end song, "Brave New Love," at the end of that movie. I love a good 80s. Kind of rock, heavy metal hair band group, and I love Brave New Love. I think that's great. Next to like Shocker and Dream Warriors, like just amazing.
They used to close out movies like that. You'd always have some rock song to close out the movie, and it's so good.
So good. And again, practical effects in that movie, amazing. So
when I first saw that movie, I had no idea it was a remake. When I first saw it in the 80s. I still have not seen the original.
I really liked it. Yeah, I saw it recently.
That's one of the movies that's probably been the longest since I've seen it. I really need to rewatch that movie because I remember loving it. I bought the Scream Factory like the second it went available because I didn't want to miss out on the slipcover. But I actually haven't watched it since it came out. So I need to rewatch it.
I love it. Brave new. I've just got the song in my head. I'm sorry.
It's a good.
Brave new love. Like,
Who
it's
sings it?
amazing.
Who's the band?
It's called Alien. So I'm gonna have to
Okay.
jam to it when I get off the chat with you, because now I got that song in my head. But I love that movie. Oh, such a great one.
It's classic.
And then just name off some real quick. Shocker. I love Wes Craven's Shocker. What are some other? We talked Just One of the Guys. Dream a Little Dream. Trying to think of some other great ones. There's so many great 80s and 90s movies out there, and from the big ones to the, you know, kind of the underrated ones. Absolutely love them.
It was just the best. It was the best, in my opinion. It was the best era. Was that, you know, mid to late 80s into the early 90s. 2000 stuff. There's some cool stuff. Like I like Eli Roth and a couple of the other directors that came out of that era. But when it comes to my wheelhouse, it's the 80s and 90s. It just doesn't.
Mine too, buddy.
No.
Antonis question. He says Shawnee Smith from the Saw movies. Yep, that's Shawnee Smith. That's Shawnee Smith.
I just did a couple of. I actually just had some movies stacked up from video I did, but we forgot. I think we forgot to mention. Did we mention this one?
No, we did not. Idle Hands. I love it.
Yeah, that was a classic, and we were talking about the 90s stuff. This is one of my all-time favorites.
Dr. Giggles, great movie. Great movie.
Love Dr.
So
Giggles.
much fun.
I love
much fun.
Movies,
you know, I think, you know, because Scream's amazing, and I love those slasher films after Scream, but I think like 90 to 95, there were some great underrated movies that came out.
There was.
That didn't get a lot of love, but now people are watching them and getting to see those films, like Dr. Giggles and People Under the Stairs. That's a great one. It's not 90s, but I think you mentioned Intruder recently. So Intruder, another great one.
Intruders. So. Yeah, when I did that video, I thought it was a 90s movie, but it was actually I think it was 89. Yeah. So it didn't quite squeak in there, but.
Kind of feels like it. Feels like a little bit. Feels like the 90s a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, guys, I have one more question for you, and it's just I wrap this up with every live chat. And by the way, thank you so much for coming on and talking with me and talking with the chat.
We've been going for 2:45.
I hope you don't mind that. I've had a blast talking with you. So
I didn't realize we had gone that long. That's awesome.
I didn't either. Goes by quick. I hope so too. And thank you all who joined the chat. Like everybody, you guys are amazing. So, you know, I'm going to ask him this question, but if you guys have like last minute questions, please feel free before we wrap up.
I know. I just want to thank everybody for asking questions. The people who don't know who I am. It was so cool to meet people who I saw a lot of new faces that may not know me. And that's awesome. They had questions and stuck around. I really appreciated doing this. So.
And once again, I'm going to tell everybody, please go subscribe to Justin's channel. Again, it's Movie Watch Daily. I'm going to leave that down below in the description.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just have to say you're a very uplifting, positive person. And that's one of the reasons why I love watching your videos and your channel.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Outside of the nostalgic stuff, which I love, you're just a very uplifting, positive person. And
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. And you always say be yourself, and that's a great way to end a video. So we talked about that. Man. Yeah, I love it.
That's the only way to be, man.
Exactly.
Be yourself. Okay.
So my last question for you is, and I always wrap this up with everybody because, you know, we talk positivity, being yourself, happiness, the most important thing. So my question is, what is your happiness and positives in your life?
Right now, it have to be my passions, the things that things that bring me joy. Like recently, as of now, I'm 3 years sober from alcohol.
Congrats.
So I quit drinking and I got 3 years sober. So now, like everything that I probably should have been putting first and foremost really kind of came into the forefront of my life. You know, just making sure to spend time with family, friends, and then all of my passions that have exploded from being on YouTube horror collecting, the people that I'm meeting, making videos, all of that stuff is what brings my joy right now. And honestly, the last year doing YouTube, like that's something that has brought me like probably the most joy and like a feeling of feeling fulfilled that I've done in a really, really long time. So,
I agree. And Scatterbrain says, as iconic as it is, horror fans are some of the most nicest, most positive people. I agree.
It's true.
I agree. We're all able to come together and share a passion.
Yeah.
Born to be rad. There we go. I'll pop this up. Born to be rad. Awesome, Garrett. Thank you, Garrett, by the way, for watching, everybody for watching. Thank you guys so much. And then I'm just going to throw this up here. Scatterbrains, that is perfect. Like he says, some of the nicest, most positive people.
It's true.
It is, and you talk about this last year on YouTube. I've been around for almost 13 years, like I said, and there was a time where I thought I was going to leave. I think 2018, and I don't mean to be, well, I'm a little sentimental with some things, so but 2018, I thought I was going to leave. 2019, I really didn't make too many videos because I was busy with the job I had and then just with life. So I didn't really have too much time to make them. And then right when the pandemic happened and this whole year, like you said, for me, it's brought so much joy again.
Yeah.
Being on YouTube and meeting you and I've known Garrett for a long time, but talking with Garrett and talking with everybody here, meeting new friends like Jamie and Jill, and I've known Nick for a long time, but doing live chats with him, I am just so blessed for all of you guys. Brian and Coco, I am blessed for all of you guys. So just thank you. I'm
something really special about this that I knew I like you said, doing it brings you joy as a creator. But I've been watching YouTube for years and years before I ever did it, and I got that feeling from creators like you on the other side of the screen, like watching, seeing that there's other people out there. I don't have anybody that I can really share horror with at all. I have one friend that I can talk horror with. And other than that, being able to watch videos from you and everybody else in the community brought me happiness, and it gives me joy and people like me who are into this stuff. So that what you put out is definitely reciprocated, and it's felt from the people who watch your videos.
Exactly.
And it's really important, even though we're talking about silly movies like Dr. Giggles and Pet Sematary 2, these movies and talking about these movies mean a lot to people.
Yeah.
And so
it's amazing.
It really, really is. So
really is amazing.
Time you put in. Sometimes I think people don't realize how much work this stuff takes. Sometimes it's not easy.
And it's just like, you talk about editing. I mean, I'm not the best at editing, but like even just, turning on the camera, coming up with a topic and just doing that takes some time. So, but the whole thing, but you know what? It is so worth it. It's definitely worth it because, we got a wonderful community here. And like I said, blessed for you, blessed for many, many people. And like you mentioned, like where I live, I do have friends who are horror movie fans, but it's very little. So like this community that we have here is just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So I want to thank you once again, Justin, for being on my live chat. This was so much fun talking with you.
Pleasure's all mine, man. This was great. We have really similar tastes, so I look forward to having more conversations about all the silly movies we enjoy.
I know, and hopefully maybe one day, maybe soon, we could do another like topic video, just kind of centering around something.
Yeah, absolutely, it'd be great. Anytime, man. And I need to have you on the channel as well. We'll do this again. This won't be the last for sure. Had a blast, man.
Thank you, buddy. I did too. So everybody, once again, thank you for joining the chat. We had such a blast. The chat was amazing tonight. And who's ever watching this back, I hope you enjoy it. And everybody, once again, I'm going to say it. Go subscribe to Justin's channel. Movie Watch Daily.
Thank you.
Description in the description. Besides YouTube, where can other people find you?
Instagram, movie_watch_daily. I have a Facebook page and Twitter, but I'm not very active. Best place to find me is on Instagram. Yeah. Perfect.
Scatterbrain says, oh, look, we got, let's see. Definitely subscribe to Justin's channel. Who's next? Let's see. Definitely subscribe to Justin's channel. Who's the next Garrett? Garrett's been on my channel, but I want to have him on again too. Awesome guy. And you're welcome, Garrett. He said, thanks, boys. Kenny says, thank you, Justin and Justin. Thank you, Kenny, for joining our chat.
Absolutely.
And then Scatterbrain says, was awesome as always. Thank you. And Brian Goes Blue said, subscribe definitely. So you got another subscriber there. So
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Don't be afraid to say hi.
Well, thank you all. Drop some comments, like his videos, watch them. Fantastic channel. So if you love nostalgia, you love movies, if you love collecting, and you love such a, and I'm going to say positive and uplifting person, Justin's the channel to go to. He's one of them. So, but guys, I'm wrapping this up. You all have a wonderful night or day wherever you are. And as always, and with the positive out with the negative, go eat some Skittles, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.